Almost afternoon, pen and tablet in hand. Great, good idea. Very important that you have some notes that you can take during this because there's going to be a lot of valuable information. David says hello from Wyoming. Sydney's from Pittsburgh. Welcome in to both of you. Our friend Nate will be tuning in from Pittsburgh today. So glad that you could make it. Glad that you're here. So yeah, as I was mentioning, the Fed report is at 2 p.m. today. And even though almost nobody is really expecting a major rate change or any rate change, in fact, the CME Fed Watch has a 99% odds of no change priced in to traders' expectations, which we'll talk about in just a minute here. It's still really all about how Chairman Powell speaks after the initial announcement at 2 p.m. And we know this if you've been around the markets for more than a few months. You've certainly experienced Fed days where Chairman Powell will come out and say something that spooks investors, and suddenly there's a big sell-off. Or alternatively, maybe he says something that gives investors a little bit of hope and excitement, and suddenly there's a big rally. As we sit right now, the markets are up a little bit on the day, nothing too spectacular. They've been, after a solid Monday and a sell-off yesterday, they're kind of all over the place, which is, usually to be expected ahead of these big meetings and big market events because people are anticipating that big change, the potential correction. They don't know exactly what to expect or how to price these things into their trading. So there's going to be a lot of volatility. And a lot of what our traders are going to be talking about today is specifically how to deal with that volatility, how to alter your trading approach a little bit to take in more, more opportunity and less of the chaos, which I think is incredibly powerful, incredibly valuable stuff. Hello to Arnulfo from Iowa. Welcome in. I'm from Missouri originally, not far from Iowa. And Sharon from Las Vegas. Welcome in. Glad that you both could make it today. And thanks to the bunch of people who are tuning in right now for joining us. So yeah, right now the markets don't really know what to do, which is to be expected. But I really think we'll see at 2 p.m. this big sea change in one direction or the other that could, kind of set the markets for at least the next little while. We've got other big events on the horizon, especially April 2nd with the tariffs officially taking effect, if they do officially take effect, and other things that are coming in the market. So it's not like this is the end of the world, end all be all today, but it's a huge event that could, certainly spark a bigger sell-off if it goes that way, or could potentially help us find a bottom and start heading the other direction, which is really exciting. So we've got a lot to prepare for. And we can see Kane getting set up there. He will be one of our experts joining us today. Hey, Kane, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I thought I'd pop in a little early, see how everyone's going. Of course, I'll be back on time. I just want to
Yeah.
see how everyone's going and what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
How's it going
absolutely.
so far?
Jill says hi. Pat says hi. It's good. It feels like a pretty momentous day. I don't know. I mean, you can tell me how you feel, but it just feels like a lot of people's expectations right now, and even how we've seen the market move this week, are just kind of pointing towards 2 p.m. today as the big watershed moment, maybe, for which direction we go next.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. There's been a lot of volatility in the markets, and what we saw is the last couple of days that volatility has come back down, but the Fed definitely has the potential of kind of releasing the valve and letting that volatility pop up again.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they're going to give us a lot of direction. I don't think there's going to be anything really surprising, except perhaps when we see their dot plot, their projections going forward, how many rate cuts or rate hikes they might have going forward. That could be telling. But in terms of anything else that they might say, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a rate cut or a rate hike at this moment in time. There's just a little too much uncertainty. So right now the market is sort of holding its breath, seeing if we get any surprises from the Fed. And if we don't, then it's sort of back to what the last few weeks were, which was mostly tariffs. And
Mhm.
that'll allow volatility to start moving again. And if we get a surprise on the dot plot, if they keep saying, hey, well, we really don't know, then that could add an element of increased uncertainty in the markets too. And then you'd see that volatility pop back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. For the folks who don't know, can you tell them a bit about what the dot plot is? Because I think that is a valuable, a hugely important part of this that a lot of people maybe don't realize is going on behind the scenes.
So the Fed it tries to project out what they're going to do in terms of their rate hikes and rate cuts going forward. So a dot plot is a way that they chart out or graph where they think they might do rate cuts. And usually they project out at least 1 or 2 years going forward. So they might project, hey, in 2 months, we might have one rate cut and it will be a quarter of a basis point. And then in 6 months, we'll do another quarter of a basis point. And then in a year, we'll do, there you go. That's exactly, there you go. So they project out the likelihood or the size of those rate hikes and rate cuts. And what you see there is they're sort of like votes. You're like, well, why are there all these dots in the same place? It's because there's a certain number of people who are voting and saying, hey, I think we might do this at this time and we might do that at that time. And we get an idea of where the Fed is projecting that they might actually do their cuts and hikes.
Gotcha. So this would be a situation where if it was projecting a lot higher over time, that would spook investors, and if it was kind of gradually reducing, it would theoretically calm investors a little bit.
Yeah, normally that's the case. It just depends on what we project in terms of inflation and other factors that are inside the market. So if normally when the rate gets cut, that is stimulatory and we feel really good. But if everyone is really afraid, or the market, I should say, not everyone, the market, the big
Mhm.
players in the market are really anticipating trouble with inflation and we start cutting, that can make it even worse. So in that case, it would have the reverse effect. But for the most part, yes, when we see cuts, that is stimulatory, that is good for the market. And when we see hikes, that kind of dampens the market a little bit.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that insight. I don't want to keep you prisoner. I know probably got some final preps to do, but thanks for popping
Yep.
on and saying hello.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Looking forward to it. And you guys are in for a treat. Everyone I know on the panel, they all have great things to share with you. So stay tuned and listen to Stephen over here, and you'll get some really great information. All right. See you
Awesome.
guys in a
Thank
little
you so
bit.
much, Kane. See you in a bit. That's just another reason it pays to show up early. You get some great insights. Not only do you lock in your seat, which we are expecting a full room today, but you get some special insights from Kane and people who pop in early, which he might not be the only one. So, for everyone who's just tuning in, we've got a room that's growing quickly. Welcome in. I'm really thrilled you're joining us for this event. If you don't know me, my name's Stephen Ground. I'm the editor-in-chief at Prosperity Pub, and today at 12 p.m. Eastern, so in just 16 minutes, I get to do one of my favorite things, which is sit down with our experts and help you prepare for a major market shifting event. Because as we were just talking about, right now we're a few hours away from the Federal Reserve Chairman, excuse me, Jerome Powell's highly anticipated press conference. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? According to CME, their Fed Watch indicator, basically no one is expecting a rate change. You can see 99% of people, of traders and investors, are expecting things to hold steady in that 425, 450 range, and then just 1% are expecting the drop down to the 4.4% range. So that's a very small, very unlikely outcome. Certainly, if that happens, it will be a shock to the markets and can be a little hard to predict how they will react. But it's pretty unlikely, right? Which means that we all know that as soon as Chairman Powell takes the podium at 12 p.m. or at 2 p.m., that's when the real fireworks begin, right? Because no matter what they do here with the rate change, what he says could have an effect on the markets, as Kim was just talking about. Now, it can be easy to beat up on Chairman Powell and the folks at the Fed, and to be fair, we do that a fair amount. But today, I think they really have a very difficult task. Now, inflation has been declining, which suggests that if their main job is to keep inflation, they say that their main goal is to keep inflation at that 2% level, which is a whole nother debate you can have in itself, whether that's what their goal should be or what their job should be, but that's their stated goal. So they're approaching that level. They're getting back down towards it, which means that, theoretically, they've been doing their job well over the past few years since those real inflation surges in 2022 and 2023. But that doesn't mean they're any anywhere near a victory lap right now, especially when the markets are in free fall as they have been for the last month or so, give or take. Obviously some periods of gains in there, but the markets are down pretty heavily over that time. Now, the market decline could actually be proof that most traders believe a recession is coming. I found this interesting graph. I wanted to share it with folks. Take a look at it. Now, overall, the S&P 500 has decreased 2% since Fed rate cuts began in September 2024, which is pretty surprising. According to the Kobesi letter, the S&P 500 typically gains 1% on average in the 6 month after rate cuts begin, so that 3% drastic difference suggests that many traders fear a recession could be on the horizon. And that's backed up by this fact that Google search trends for recession in the United States spiked to the highest since 2022 when US GDP contracted 1% in Q1. So let us know, by the way. I'm curious if you are in the chat. Let me know how you feel about the economy right now, if you think a recession is likely, or if that's just kind of panic. I'm curious where our traders are at, so I'd love to hear from you. But while you do that, whether inflation is cooling or not, I think Chairman Powell has a really, really difficult job. He needs to calm fears about a recession. He needs to ease worries about tariffs. He needs to paint a realistic path forward and do that all without upsetting a rather mercurial, unpredictable chief executive above him, right? Love Trump or hate him. He's certainly not a guy that's easy to predict how he'll respond to things. And I've described this as like trying to land a 747 on a Hot Wheels track, right? It seems incredibly difficult to do. And the markets will be hanging on to every word, looking for an excuse to overreact, which means that from 2 p.m. Eastern to the closing bell today, we could see a ton of volatility, some unique opportunities, and potentially a 180 in the market. We've got folks saying, Teresa says she's bullish right now. We've got our new full saying we're heading into a recession. Andrew, the normal cycle would be a recession. Snapper says we're in peril. David says we're already in a recession for at least 6 months. And other David says, tell me one good thing that's going on right now. We'll have some positive and some negative from the panel here too, but you can see just in the chat, Cyrus says recession is coming too. There's a lot of mixed emotions. Some folks think things are going pretty good. A lot of folks seem to be in that kind of recession fear right now. So all of that swirling emotion, uncertainty, unpredictability is why we've brought together a panel of experts to help you prepare for what's coming at 2 p.m. So let me introduce them really quick. We'll have Roger Scott, over 30 years of experience trading everything from corn futures to stock options and ETFs. He ran his first fund with two Ivy League economists, both of whom have been advisors in multiple White House administrations. He managed multi-million-dollar hedge funds and managed funds for one of the richest families in the world, and he's been featured on CNBC, CNN, Forbes, Bloomberg, and Fox Business. Today, Roger is sharing his latest breakthrough with us, and one thing that's going to be a huge opportunity to take advantage of the Fed meeting. So we're really excited to have him here. Jeffry Turnmire is joining also. I love Jeffrey. He's a civil engineer, and I think the only description is market savant, who's been fascinated by trading since elementary school, and a perfect person to talk about the potential for a recession or a crash, because that's when he kind of made his name in growing his family's trading account to over 1.4 million during the COVID crash. He's also discovered the income glitch, which is 82-0 with 0 losses since June 2022 when he first started trading it. He's also a crypto expert and a husband, father, engineer, farmer, beekeeper, maker, pilot, tinkerer, and so much more. Man of all trades. Kane, who you already saw jump in for a bit, is a former PIMCO VP portfolio manager. He helped manage $1.7 trillion in assets, including for companies like Disney, Apple, Google, and more. He traded $200 billion in average daily volume and has traded with living legends like Bond King Bill Gross and Mohamed El-Erian. He also discovered the incredible gamma pockets hidden inside many of the most popular stocks. We've got Graham Lindman, who's an options expert with over a decade of experience trading the markets, studied technical analysis analysis under two of the top minds in finance. He developed and popularized wrap orders as well, and he's masterminded strategies like lightning trades, moonshot trade alerts, and NVIDIA Elite, and even built the Apex indicator and Newton. We've got Nate Tucci, who I believe I saw getting his camera set up just a minute ago, over a decade of experience. There he is. Hey, Nate, how you doing?
Look at that handsome guy. Tell
Yeah,
us more great things
great.
about Nate.
Well, you've got over a decade of experience trading everything from Forex to stocks to crypto and beyond. I don't know if you knew that, Nate. But you have also worked with tons of the world's leading experts. You grew your own investment portfolio by over $1,000 just last year. And of course, have many great strategies, including automated options, which I have loved using personally. And I think you've got a unique perspective on the Fed meeting today and some, kind of mindset shifts that people need to make to be successful in these markets right now.
Well, this guy sounds great.
There's at least one other Pittsburgher in the audience today too, so you're not alone here. You've got friends.
Runs in high places, Stephen.
That's right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was very interested to see how many people chatted in with kind of the recession idea. Um, and I'll share what I think is a pretty amazing data point, like kind of a shocking data point that I found that points in a very different direction that I want to talk about. So that was really interesting to see in the chat because I would say in general the retail mania has not adapted that opinion. I'll show you why I say that here pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely awesome. I think that's the challenge today, right? Is just figuring out how people are going to react. It's always the two challenges of the market right now when it's chaotic like this is just what is the news going to be, which is always hard to anticipate. We can guess that there won't be a rate cut, but beyond that, we can't be really confident what Powell's going to say. And then even if we could do that, we wouldn't necessarily be able to predict how the market was going to react to whatever the news is. Powell could say something that seems incredibly positive, incredibly dovish, inflation's going to cool down, tariffs aren't going to be that big a deal, and the markets could just cling to something and turn it negative, or like Kane was talking about, the dot plot could give them the wrong, temperature. It's just a lot of different possible fallout from today. So that's why we've got all you guys here to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I actually think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that what Powell says today could have a chance to be like one of the most impactful, you know, uh, I guess, oratory aspects of the Fed that we've ever seen. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think the rate cut's going to matter a whole lot, but I think he has the ability, and I'll cover like the three scenarios. Now, just to be clear, I think the most likely scenario is not that it's not some absolute extreme thing that he says that goes everything, makes everything go crazy. But I think there's two different things he could say, or at least generally imply, that would potentially make for some of the biggest waves we've ever seen, from the chairman speaking. So again, that's what I think we have to look forward to. Most likely scenario, not, not crazy, but boy, the ends of the spectrum scenarios are pretty wild today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into that in 6 minutes now as we start at noon. Empress, you're not missing anything. We're just in the pre-show right now, so we haven't delve into the real meat yet, so you're tuning in just in time. And Nate, I'll let you go ahead and do any final prep you need to do and join us at noon as I get to introducing Chris here in a minute. But thanks for everyone tuning in. Like I just told our new guest, Empress, we are starting in 6 minutes, so you're just perfectly on time for the roundtable event. And I was just running through the folks who are here today joining us. Last but not least, in addition to Nate and Graham and Kane and Jeffrey and Roger, we have Chris Pulver, who spent nearly 30 years in the markets as a trader, former money manager, and teacher. He's an options chain analyst and derivatives specialist. He's an expert on zero DTE setups, which is something I think you're going to want to pay very close and special attention to today. A lot of our traders here today are really focused on shorter time frames and changes that they can make to kind of stay out of that volatility, right? And really avoid the teeth of the market, which seems to be those overnight swings. We saw that just from Monday into Tuesday. Monday, huge positive day, and then Tuesday just a collapse overnight, and then Tuesday during the day it was pretty much sideways, not a lot of moves. One way to avoid getting sucked into that is with the zero DTE kind of approaches. So we'll be getting into that. Chris is also a player and instructor with PGA of America, which I'm very jealous of, and he personally managed multi-million dollar trading accounts and still does. So I'll be here with them to take all your questions and guide the conversation. I am Stephen Ground, and I am so excited for today's briefing. So as we round down, count the time down towards 12 p.m. Eastern, let's hear from you in the chat. I'd love to know your name, where you're coming from, and what you're expecting from Powell and the markets today. We've already got a lot of good feedback. And of course, you can start sending your questions for our experts too. I know Deanna is around to help me collect those, and we will be here to help you get ready as well. So welcome to the Fed Meeting Roundtable. We're really glad you're here. We're kicking off at 12 p.m. Eastern in just a few minutes. There's our team. Let's see. Let's go back at some of the comments I missed. Ratna said Powell might reduce interest rate or give a hint to that effect. Yeah, it's very possible. We'll see what's to come. Lisa says hanging with her faith in her quick response methodability. It's very important to be able to respond quickly. Graham says happy Fed Day, everybody. You'll be hearing from Graham in just a minute. Richard says hello from Alabama. Ratna says Powell has to act or Doge will go after him. We'll see. I mean, he's definitely got that political pressure over his shoulder that I know, how could it not be on his mind? Leah asks, does the volatility create great opportunities? It definitely does if you know, where to look and how to play it, which is what our experts are going to be pointing you towards today. Cyrus says the February economic data is not great, which is definitely true. Elsa says hi from Indiana. Bryant from Arlington. Steve from Dallas. Don from Medina in Ohio. Welcome in. Powell to be status quo is his expectation. Kim says hey from California. Andrew, he says, new to it all and doesn't know what to expect from Idaho. Well, welcome in, Andrew. I don't think there's a better place for you to get started. Personally, I think you'll hear a lot from our experts that will really help you get situated. And don't be afraid to ask questions, even if you think they might be, kind of beginner questions or something that someone else in the room might know. That's we're here to help you. So just let us know. Let's hear your questions from any beginners or any experience level. We always love having you folks here. Wow, so many comments. It's going to be hard to keep up with everyone. Rochelle from Missouri. Sharon says hi from Las Vegas. Michael says hello. Hans from Germany, welcome in from across the pond. Well, a little further across the pond than Britain, of course, but I was in Germany last summer. Beautiful country. Can't wait to get back. Ken says he's saying hello from Central Kentucky, and he believes Powell will waffle, which I think a lot of traders would not be surprised by that. Wow, we've got like 40 comments here. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I will say hello to Roger Scott, who just jumped on. Hi, Roger. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Stephen?
I'm great. A lot of folks here, a lot of people with, big expectations for today's Fed meeting. And a lot of folks are pretty nervous about the possibility of a recession and bad things on the horizon. So I'm glad that you are here and all of our experts are here to kind of share some wisdom, some ways to prepare whichever way the market goes. And Roger, I know you in particular are really focused on a new opportunity to help folks that is, really kind of custom made for this sort of environment.
Yes. There's a tool that we're actually going to be talking about it quite a lot today throughout the session and at 1 o'clock. We unofficially launched it on Saturday, officially launching it today. And so far, I think we had 5 trades, all winners. And they take advantage of little moves in the market. So I think what we're going to see in the next couple of, and we'll get into all of this, but I believe what we're going to be seeing for the next several months is a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty brings non-directional volatility along for the ride. And unfortunately, we have to have that type of period before we can start trending once again. So I think it's going to be a really good a good time for people who trade short-term options, short-term stocks, short-term trading actions, trade different directional bias, and aren't just the buy and hold investment guys. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for guys like us. So I think that everybody's going to benefit. But this indicator, this tool, this platform that I created is literally made from the ground up to take advantage of this type of market environment. So it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. I can't wait to get into that a little bit. And it is officially 12 p.m., which means it's time to get started with the formal part of the roundtable. Not that we're ever too formal around here, to be honest, but we, like to be serious and have a good time at the same time. Folks, we had like 50, 70 people say hello. So sorry I haven't been able to shout all of you out, but thank you all for being here for what I think is going to be a hugely important roundtable talking about what the Fed's going to do today, what we can expect, and where things are going. And I thought to dive into that, I'd ask all of our experts here today a quick round of lightning round questions. So basically 3 questions I want you to each to answer in a sentence or two, which are, will the Fed move rates? Will Powell say anything important? And how do you think the market is going to react when it all shakes out at 2 p.m.? So to start that, Graham, let's turn it to you. What do you think?
I don't think the Fed will move rates. I think Powell will stick to the normal script minus a few slight changes. Just saying they're going to look at the data, monitor it closely. Also, they're going to say they're uncertain. Right now, depending on what Trump does in the White House, and I think we're going to get a reaction pretty similar to what we saw with NVIDIA earnings the last time we did one of these roundtables. Up, down, all around, and nowhere too much altogether.
All right. Yeah, I think that a lot of people will feel the same way. Nate, how about you? Where are you at?
I don't think they're going to cut rates. My expectation is that he will play nice and not say anything too crazy. But like I said, I think there's the chance he has more power to say something crazy and affect the market than almost any other announcement, I would say, but I don't expect that. And I would say the market has priced in a good bit of negativity. So even if he just stays on script and is confident that we're going to maintain the timeline and doesn't even like go into other stuff, I think it'll be mildly bullish in the short term.
Yeah, I definitely think that potential for something, even if the likelihood of that is very small, the potential for it is high. So, Jeffrey, how about you? Welcome in. I haven't been on a roundtable with you yet, so glad that you are here. How do you feel about what's coming? I know you're not a big read the headlines guy, but what are you seeing in the markets?
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. We've been in a giant pullback, and we're ripe for a very positive reaction. So I don't think they're going to raise rates. That would be ridiculous because the market rate and their rate are just, fractions of a point. If they dipped it all, if they cut it all, they'd be into the market rate, which leaves them no room to be wrong. And if they raised rates, that'd just be ridiculous right now. And so hold rate is the most logical. And Powell saying anything, I mean, he already came out, 2 weeks ago and already kind of told us the preview of what he was going to say. He's waiting on Trump's decisions to make bigger decisions. And I think he's just going to reaffirm that with the market. That's about the only stability thing we're going to get. He's trying to provide stability and, the market likes to go higher when we have stability. So someone out there being stable may give us the springboard to actually go higher from here. That doesn't mean the initial reaction might not be a pullback. It's been a strong rally today, so we may get a pullback and a pop. But, as somebody else mentioned about NVIDIA, it could be the same kind of reaction. We'll kind of see.
Awesome. Chris, how about you? Welcome in. Also, I think first time we've been on a roundtable together, so thanks for being here. How are you feeling about what's coming at 2?
I think that this is just a preview of what's to come in the next couple of weeks. We have to get through the Fed. We've got to get through core PCE next week. We also have the big tariff discussion where every country has a number. I believe it's April 2nd. So the one thing, in addition to Powell's press conference, they're likely going to pause. It's pretty much baked in. Nothing's going to happen. What I'm looking at is the preview for, pre-FOMC pause today. The rate cuts projections right now are looking at 125 basis points cut starting in June, possibly one later in the year in September or October, and only 2 for the year. But the dot plot is going to be revealed today as well. So we're going to see not just where Powell's at, but also where all the other Fed speakers are at. I think that this is the Fed's opportunity to kind of reassure the market that the economy looks good, remains resilient. I think that's going to maybe put in some optimism to at least stabilize this recent slide. But I think the real move is going to be the combo of resiliency, certainty, and stability from the Fed, but also seeing that the tariff conversation is not going to make things worse. I think right now the market probably cares more about the uncertainty with tariffs and how much more the government side is going to be escalating the trade war talk or the tariff talk, which we won't really know until April. So to get through today, I think it's a lot of potential noise. I've got some pullback levels we can go through, but I think near term 5750 to 5800 is a good correction level. But the bears still have all the volume to step back in and push it back down. But yeah, I mean, the Fed's going to be pretty inactive today, probably a nothing burger, maybe a lot of chop, highs and lows. But I'm curious to see what Powell's language is and then what the dot plot reveals on the chart in the table.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely going to be a lot buried in that dot plot, which I'm sure we can get into a little more in just a minute. Last but not least, Roger, let's get to you. Your quick thoughts on what's going to happen before we dive in.
Yeah, actually, I what about Kane? I thought Kane was.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Kane, not jumping around.
What about Kane?
Oh,
Kane, you go
all
first.
good. Well, so to add on to what Chris was saying, I completely agree that dot plot's going to be the main focus. It's going to be the only thing that has the potential to have really have changed for Powell and for the entire committee to say, hey, we're going to change the rates right now. That would be really premature. It's too much risk for them because whatever they say or do could be completely counteracted by something that the president's administration says or does the very next day, or even within an hour, they could just do something that makes the Fed's action look totally foolish. So doing nothing is the right move in this environment, but that dot plot will be revealing, because if there's any sort of change whatsoever on that dot plot, then what we're saying is that the Fed is starting to look into the future and change their opinion of what might happen in the future. And that could move markets. I think the most that we're going to see today, however, is probably just a lot of volatility. The last couple of days, we saw that volatility start to shrink. We saw the markets trade sideways a little bit. And after we have certainty of what Powell and the Fed is going to do, then that gives the market permission to kind of take another breath and start getting really active again. So after the announcement, probably a lot of volatility, probably not a lot of directional movement.
Awesome. What you saw right there, by the way, is I put together an agenda and sent it to everyone and asked them to read it and be familiar with it, and then I ignored it. So sorry for skipping you there, Kane. Thank you for calling me on that, Roger. And now, Roger, what's your quick response to what's
I
coming?
got to keep an eye on you, Stephen.
Exactly. Somebody's got to watch me.
I got to keep an eye on you. Well, thank you for having me here, and I'll make this pretty brief. I don't think the Fed is going to do much at all. I think the dot plot is going to be the key today, as pretty much everybody. I know for sure Chris and Jeffrey and Kane mentioned it. So pretty much everybody's saying that there's not going to be a lot going on today from the Fed. But I do believe there may be there was a survey done earlier this morning or last night. The time gets away from me. And they did believe that the reaction will be a little bigger than usual because there was a more risk on concern with the market than we've seen in the last several Fed announcements. But aside from that, I think there's going to be a lot of non-directional volatility. We've been seeing very little action from the Fed in terms of a reaction from what they're going to do, and there's not really any surprises on the table. How will the market react? Just a possible increase in volatility. Volatility has been going down all day today, and volume has been really, really coming into issues that have been going higher with nonstop all day. So I'm hoping that the reaction is positive, but we really won't know. One way or the other, I think it'll stay. Volatility will be escalated and will stay somewhere right around 20. It's at 2061 right now. I think it's going to be heightened for the remainder of the session and possibly later into the remainder of the week. Although we don't have a lot of Fed data, we do have a lot of tariffs, and that, as Nate pointed out, is really what's driving price right now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that, Roger. Thanks, everybody. And now let's dive into the meat of it. Roger, we'll stick with you. Is there anything, with the markets how they are right now, the Fed today, I know you've got your focus on a new opportunity, but why don't you just walk people through kind of what you're looking at right now, what your major sort of advice for people is, and just dive into what you want folks to know.
Yeah, can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, please. I stop sharing just for that.
Okay.
For you, Roger.
Thank you. So, just to show you real quick, This is the S&P 500. This is 5 minutes. This is daily, and I just want to focus on the right side. This is the 200-day moving average. We broke the 200-day moving average, and I don't know if you want to say we rushed back up there. I don't really consider this much of a rush, but we're right now in a very consolidated, choppy type of a market structure. Problem is, as long as we stay below the 200-day moving average, there's going to be a lot of pressure on hedge funds and institutional funds to be very, very, very cautious with the type of buying and we are seeing. And usually institutions don't really liquidate too much. It's more of they don't accumulate. They stop accumulating and they'll sell at a price, but they're not going to aggressively sell. They don't want to cause a market to go down either. So they're just kind of holding, which is one of the reasons why volume is really low. But wanted to show you guys a few interesting things that that are happening right now from under the hood. If you look at market momentum, and this is just to show you something interesting. This is including ETFs. There's 90-day breakdowns. This is pretty much every 90-day breakdown over between $10 and $5,000. There's 26 stocks breaking down. And including ETFs, there's 43 stocks. Including ETFs, there's 43 stocks breaking out. Typically, this number, to get any type of momentum, this number has to be over 100. What this is telling us right now, that there's absolutely no directional bias to the upside or the downside. In other words, this is what the market's doing right now. Now, if you're a day trader and you like to make money from small swings, this is nirvana. We're going to hear more about it at 1 o'clock. I launched a program specifically for this type of market movement. But in terms of your equities and all of that, we're in chop fest right now below the 200-day moving average. Now, the key for me is going to be whether we make it to the 200-day moving average and how long it'll take us to get to the 200-day moving average, and more importantly, the reaction at the 200-day moving average. As of right now, we're in a strong downtrend, and I expect this trend to continue, but I do believe we're going to test the 200 before moving lower. So what I think the market's going to do is, I think this rebound effect that we're seeing right now, if you want to call it that, I think it's going to pull us up here, kind of pull us, make it seem like we're moving higher back again, and then come and turn us down over once again. Very similar to what you saw right here. Breaks down, tests it, and then comes right back down. It didn't even happen between the 100 and the 200. The 100 is not that significant. But I think we're going to go to the 200, and then we're going to come back down. Now, there is some silver lining here, and I'll show you what that silver lining is. And by the way, this is just a little tease, a little preview of the new tool that we're going to be launching a little later today. But I want to show you guys something cool. There is a silver lining. And I think I actually turned Jeffrey onto this. Jeffrey, tell me if I'm right about the momentum levels, the number of stocks above the 50-day moving average.
Oh yeah, you were one of the first people to show me that several years ago at this point.
Yeah, it was a couple of years. It was a couple of years ago. Right. So folks, this is consumer discretionary. This is 5 years. We're not that far from the bottom. Okay? We're not. If you want to go, we can go monthly and we can go 10 years. You're not that far from the bottom. We're not up here right now. We're all the way down here. There is some silver lining, okay? Look at technology. This is technology. Look at this. We're not right here right now. We're all the way down here, okay? And I mean, I don't think it's necessary to go much further, but I can go monthly and I can go 10 years. You could see we're not, I would be very nervous if we were up here, but we're very here. And similarly, look at utilities, which are very defensive, as everybody knows. They're pretty aggressive up here. So wherever we are in terms of the market structure, I don't believe we have a whole lot more to go to get to, if we go lower, I don't think we have that much more to go to get to our final destination before we start reverting back up. I think the majority is priced into the market. My concern is that for an extended period of time, we could be seeing choppiness, which again could lead you into a situation where equities are not really doing much, but our 1DT, 0DT, 1DT options and this new system that we're going to be talking about soon can really make a lot of money, or any other type of day trading or short-term trading system. That's all I've got, Stephen. I hope I didn't go over the allocated time limit.
No, you're doing just fine. And thank you, Roger. I'd love that, mindset shift of switching to that shorter term focus as long as the volatility and uncertainty is there. And we'll move on to Kane just to keep things moving. Want to make sure we leave it enough time for Q&A at the end. Kane, one question we got in the chat, and maybe you can cover it while you talk, is just, I know you talked about it a little before we got started today, but what is the dot plot that we've talked so much about for folks who aren't familiar with it? And then please share anything that you want to share with us as well.
Sure. Yeah. The dot plot is just a way that the Fed kind of polls the committee members and their anticipation of where rates need to be in the next couple of years. So every person puts their vote on where they think rates are going to be, and then you end up with little dots next to there. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. So you get those little dots on where all the different members will believe that in certain timeframes where the rates should be. So you can see in the longer run on the right-hand corner over there, you can see that basically everyone thinks that it should be lower than where it is right now. But for 2025, 2026, they're not really anticipating a lot of movement, although in 2026, there are more members showing that they believe it should be lower than where it is right now. So it gives us a view of what the committee is thinking and where they might be trying to guide rates in the future.
Awesome. And just to be clear, this is not today's dot plot because that hasn't been released yet, but just didn't want anybody to be confused by that. So please, let us know what else you've got for us.
Yeah, let me share my screen real fast, and I'll just add on a little bit to what Roger was talking about. And he gave a really great argument for why we might just be chopping sideways for a little bit. I guess to get to a little bit more of an equivalent view of what Roger is sharing, I should show that we are below that 200-day moving average, and it does look like we just been chopping. Since we got below the MA200, we've just been really chopping sideways. So we're in this choppy environment. We're in this choppy environment for several months since the election. And then now we moved directionally a little bit below the MA200, and now we're in this choppy environment again. So what do you do during this chop period? And the answer is you have to switch timeframes. You can't, if you're used to looking at a daily, you've got to look at something else. Either you've got to go really long term, like if I start looking at a weekly chart, suddenly I can see a direction. If I look at a monthly chart, suddenly I see a direction, but going longer is not really helpful for most of us. We're not buy and hold traders or investors. We're not trying to make money over the next 10 years. We're trying to make money in a shorter term. So instead of moving in that direction, what if we go lower? What if I go to a 1 hour chart? And then suddenly these moves become more significant because let me ask, or just rhetorically, I guess, for everyone to answer on their own. If I'm looking at a chart like this, what am I happy with on a short-term basis? Do I hold for 5 days? Do I hold for 10 days? What's the average length of my trade? If the answer is, let's just say 5 days, then I should be happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pretty good trade right there, 5 days. And if I measure that move, that's about 18 points. And the ATR at that particular point in time, I'm on the wrong chart for you to show that. But let's just say that is, if we went and measured the ATR, what you would see is that it's probably around a 1 to 3 ATR move. Probably, look by the looks of it, it's probably more like a 1.5 to 2 ATR move. So in these short terms, we're happy with 1 to 2 ATR. But what's really good if we're in this choppy environment, though, we can't necessarily get that 1 to 2 ATR. But what we get is a lot of volatility. So if we move to a lower time frame, say I move down to a 15-minute time frame, I need to get rid of extended hours, then suddenly I get these moves that look like they're a lot bigger. And if I look at the ATR right here, then actually I might be able to do this. Can I do this? There you go. That shows me 1 ATR up and 1 ATR down. And with heightened volatility, we can reach those ATRs a lot more easily. So if my normal risk profile is to go for a 2-to-1 risk to reward trade, and I can go 2 ATR up and stop myself out 1 ATR down, then I can't necessarily get that on the daily chart right now because we're chopping sideways. But if I go to a lower time frame, it becomes a lot easier to find the same reward risk ratio and get into my trades. So moving to a lower time frame is a great solution in a choppy market.
Awesome. Can you
that's what I have.
or Ralph in the chat, what is ATR? We had a question just on the basics of that indicator.
Yeah, ATR is average true range. It's a measure of how much prices are moving over the last several days. So what can we expect to in the future or going forward in the near future, how much a price might move. So if I'm in a low volatility environment, then the ATR on the SPY might be 5 points. And if I'm in a high ATR environment, then it could be, a high volatility environment, it could be like 8 or 10 points.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ralph, for the question, and also Sean, who asked about the dot plot. And Kane, appreciate your insights. You're talking a lot about, moving to a shorter time frame, kind of that both you and Roger mentioned that zero DTE focus. And I know Chris is kind of a master of those short time frames and setting up those daily profit plays and other trades that you use on that shorter time frame. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing? I know you teased some insights earlier, so go ahead and dive into it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to say that my zero DTE or short-term trading has done really well. We're on a nice little hot streak. Today marks 28 out of 29 winners the last couple of weeks, and I've got one more that's pending hopefully here for the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes to close out for another winner this morning. I just wanted to go into the technicals a little bit. I have a couple of things. So I agree with Roger, agree with Kane. I think this is an interesting spot. I don't think the pain is necessarily done to the downside, but I think the most important thing, in my opinion right now, is that we have this April and August low. If this level holds, this could be the bit of a bear trap where the market may flush down to test this level, but that to me is going to be one of the critical spots to see it hold, because my concern is if we break significantly below this level, this would be SPX breaking below 5,500 with conviction. We break below this level, there's not a lot of support until we hit August lows of 2024. That is going to scare, I think, a lot of investors. That would be kind of an acceleration of this deleveraging process we've seen since the early part of the year to get out of this Mag 7 concentration. But for right now, in the near term, we have a couple of gaps. I pointed out this week in my Telegram channel some harmonic patterns that get us roughly back into this area. What happened to my drawing tool? Here it is. Okay, so right in here, this low is roughly lining up with this low to high, higher low to higher high. If the market's able to drift a little bit higher, to me, this pulls back into like 5750, 5800 zone, 5750, 5850 zone. We're going to see if the bears kind of claw back a little bit. I think we were on a session earlier, Roger. I don't know if it was you, but we had mentioned, I want to say it was you and I in agreement that if we see a higher low, that's probably the best thing for the market right now. We need to see a higher low, and whether that higher low is, yesterday's floor around 5,600, or we obviously hit here and have like a higher low around 5,600 again, something like that, where that's going to kind of reassure that we can get back above those 200 moving averages once again. I think if the bulls can reclaim all of this support, it takes away a little bit of that power and control that the bears have had since that big flush down, which marks around 10.3% in the S&P. I want to put some things in perspective here, just for a few more minutes, if you will humor me. So I've got some drawdown perspectives in the market that just shows that this isn't an anomaly, right? Like bear markets happen, corrections happen. And just to put it in perspective, 100% of the time, the market has at least a 1% pullback. Okay, so there's always dips, there's always pullbacks, there's always drawdowns. But what's crazy is we just experienced a 10+% correction in the S&P. It happens 64% of the time. That's still very common. Every 1.6 years, we're going to see a 10+% correction. So we have it. Now, if it gets deeper, you can see that the probability probabilities of a 15 to 20% correction go dramatically lower, but they do happen every 2.5 to 4 years. Now, our last bear market that was legitimate was 2022. It was an 8 to 9 month downtrend. We saw 25+% in the S&P, 35+% in the Qs and the NASDAQ. But that was a bear market. So I'm looking at if we can survive this, get through this tariff uncertainty, have the Fed provide some stability to the market, and what the Fed has been doing, maybe to their fault, is being transparent. But if we get some more clarity out of Trump administration, we don't see the market go too much lower than possibly a bear trap test. That's what I'm saying is going to be kind of the key level to these recent lows would be if we are going to correct here and then the bears try one more time to flush down, but they are defended. I think that's a key level because below this, I think there's massive risk of deleveraging. So those are levels I'm watching, but in the near term, I continue to trade very short term, day to day, week to week. It's been actually really good, like almost 28 for 29 winners with daily profit play. Last week I closed out 29 out of 30 trades were winners. The week before that was almost 19 out of 20 trades were winners. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to continue to trade and trade actively. And I think traders can take advantage of whatever the market throws at you. We're going to figure out to trade through it. Now, longer term, I will say if you've got more than just day-to-day trading or week-to-week trading, if you think 3 years or 5 years, give yourself the time horizon to be right. This market's going to find a way to be high and make new all-time highs, but it may take 12 months to 24 months to get there. But day to day, there's such good opportunities right now. And that's the beautiful thing about what's happened here with zero TED since 2022 is traders have opportunities every single day if they know where to look. So I'm excited to see what Roger's doing, this afternoon. And I mean, I think all of us have been pivoted into more short-term opportunities because that's where we know the income trades are at.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you for that. Before I pass the baton to Jeffrey, you touched on seeing a higher high and the importance of that. And I know we've got some like real beginners in our chat, which I love to see. But can you just briefly talk about what that actually means for somebody who's not really, familiar with that terminology and what they need to look for?
Is that to me or for Jeffrey?
For you. Sorry.
Oh, I honestly, I sorry, say that one more time, Stephen. I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, you touched on the concept of a higher high, and just for the beginners of our chat, can you briefly kind of explain what that means and what they need to look for?
Sorry, I dropped the screen. So yeah, all I mean by that is I'll just go short term here. What I mean by higher high is I want to see this. I want to see this low we put in from Thursday, this little swing. I'd like to see a higher high, meaning that we actually have the bulls pushing higher one more time. So a low, high, higher low, higher high, I think is going to be really important. At the very least, if that happens in the near term, or if we chop around here through the trend line, I just want to see that we don't necessarily put in a dramatically lower low without this market having some type of resiliency. One, key level two, Kane, I'm sure this is on your radar here, but JP Morgan has an investment fund that typically has large call levels and put levels every quarter. And that level is sitting around 55.65 for a Q1 expiration. So that being said, a lot of flows are hedging to and through, but I also think that provides a strong level of support in this market. So by the Q1 expiration on Monday the 31st, I think 55.65 will be a pretty firm hold level to at least see the market show some bouncing in the near term. So if we can get through Q1 above 55.65, we get through maybe April 2nd with tariff talks that aren't putting too much damage into the market, then I think this can be a rally back up in the near term towards that like 57 to 50 zone. And that offers to me a little bit of an opportunity to de-risk. I've been selling some ratio spreads and a lot of things that have generated really good income for me, but I am upside down a little bit in Tesla. I would take assignment this week potentially at 255, which a break-even ownership after everything would be like 247. I'm confident with the cash I have, I can repair the stock for $500 to $1,000. But we've seen a stock drop. One of the beloved Mag 7 stocks be down 60%. I think that's a little volatile, but it is what it is. The market I think is running with a little bit more dislike for Elon Musk, and that's resembling in the stock right now, which it could be overblown. Who knows? Price is going to do what it's going to do, but longer term, I think Tesla still. Jeffrey and I talked about offline yesterday, but a good AI play, robotics play, and energy play. But in the interim, to answer your question, Stephen, a higher high would just be price pushing back up towards 5,800 or so.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always hard to figure or factor in that political element to things.
Sure.
Which, Jeffrey, one of the reasons I love your insight is you tell people to just ignore all that and look at markets, which takes a lot of stress and a lot of research out of the process. So what are you seeing? What have you heard from these guys that you want to, kind of follow up on and show us what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to start with the fact I kind of alluded to the fact that the market actually sets the interest rate, not the Fed. And I wanted to circle back and explain what I meant when I said that, just in case, you were talking about new people here today. DGS2, this is the actual market rate right here should be able to see my screen. Delta Golf Sierra 2, that's the 2-year constant maturity rate. And that's the blue line on this chart right here. The Fed funds is the orange rate. And as you can see, going all the way back here, as long as I've been trading, the market, the Fed funds is always chasing the blue rate. They chase it up, they chase it down. Now, a funny thing about these blue arrows right here, that's back in 2020, 2000, 2001 area when we had the dot-com bust. That's when the orange got above the blue. And then right here again in 2006, 7, 8, same thing happened. Orange got above the blue, great financial crisis. This right here, more recent, we may, many of us remember this pretty good. This was 2019 coming into 2020. COVID actually showed up in the chart on the interest rates that we were going to have a market freakout. Why? I mean, we can debate this offline, but this was already in the charts. This is how I became a guru, was catching this move right here. And then currently, the orange is yet again above the blue. Now, rewind 2 years ago, I kind of speculated that we might see this happen and then have to raise rates more. So we're going to see what happens if this actually plays out. Some key levels I'm watching on the interest rates to see what the Fed's going to do. As long as we're above about 3.5 on that DGS2, I think the Fed is going to keep holding rates because this is pretty volatile in here. As long as that blue keeps hanging in here, we're probably going to hold steady. If the blue breaks back above the orange, the target rate right now, 4.25 to 4.5, which hangs it out right at 4.33 right there. If we break above that, say 4.5 with the DGS2, Fed's probably going to start raising rates, and that's going to be a shocker to everybody. Nobody's really expecting that to take place at all. I think all the other gurus here probably don't expect rates to raise at all, but that's possible if the market rate starts taking a leg higher again. So watch for cuts if we drop below 3.5. As long as we're hanging in this area, I don't expect them to cut rates anymore this year. And this is already on the charts. That's why I say ignore all the rhetoric, ignore all the mainstream media. The charts kind of tell you what's going to happen. And that leads to what Steven said. And tying this back into the S&P, Chris and I were talking about this quite a bit this week, as he was just mentioning. That was a great place to bounce right there. And this is my roadmap line right here. For anybody that's wondering, it's not the 200-day, it's not anything like that. It's a 144 EMA with some other stuff combined in. And I use it as kind of my support resistance line. When we broke down through it, I was like, we're going a little lower, probably going to hit the 618 retrace of the whole move up. And that whole move up being from the August lows we put in last summer to that recent high in February. We retraced a 61.8% retrace. I'm a very technical trader. These are very technical levels. I expect this to hold and project us up to a 6,600 level on the upside. I've been talking about that 6,600 level since 2022 when we were at the bottom. Steven, you probably remember that. It's a big, bold claim, but I think we're going up to 6,600. And then my bigger, bolder claim, we're not going above 7,000 before we go back below 4,000. My bigger, bolder claim for that, this is probably going to last a few years. That's my bigger, bolder claim. Now, I do focus on the shorter time frame right now with this big pullback, uncertainty, bullish trades, not really working out so great. So I have my triple threat system that takes advantage of small moves. And as you can see right here, we have stacked up a number of wins in the last few days right there. A number of wins. Got 2 open ones right there. One on Amazon and one on NVIDIA. They released a really cool little robot named Blue yesterday. If nobody's watched that video, you should go watch it on social media. Incredible thing. I was like, boy, the robot revolution might actually happen this time. And, that's a cool little thing. It's like they took Wall-E from Disney and made it into a real thing that can move around and make noise like R2-D2. A freaking cool little thing. Anyway, this is my day trade system. I freaking love this system and pumps out a ton of wins. Now, we did get a couple little streaks of losses in here, but overall this week, the win rate has been 75.76%. And this just emphasizes that short-term trades are the place to be. And I'm excited to see Roger's new system. All right, Steven, I'm going to turn it over.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I love that. And I think a lot of you guys have been talking about that switch to the shorter term focus to avoid, some of that longer term volatility. And Nate, you were in my office a couple weeks ago and talking about, on the whiteboard right over my shoulder here, just how hard it is to kind of find that bottom and how so many traders lose money by not responding quickly enough to the market, which I thought was a really cool insight. I don't know if you're going to cover that again, but what do you got to share with folks today that, you think they need to pay attention to?
Yeah, well, I do feel a bit bad that I'm going to end up repeating what other people have said, but I'll try to make it interesting and say something new. By the way, shoot us in the chat. Let me know if you guys like this whole roundtable idea of us all jumping on and doing this together and kind of piling around important events. Would love to get your feedback on that. But let me jump in. So for me, I think the longer term trend is very difficult to read right now. And I just want to quickly walk you through the practical example of what I mean. So let's take a look at the SPY on February 28th. This is what the chart looked like on February 28th. Looked like a nice little channel, respecting. I don't know about you, but I was starting to buy some stocks, thinking, hey, we're gonna hit all-time highs on this lovely little channel. Well, not so fast, because this is what it looked like on March 7th. But if you look at March 7th, got a perfect little jump back to the previous highs here in this zone, the previous lows, and still looked fairly optimistic, I would say. Just another 3% correction, no big deal. Well, then jumped to March 12th, and all of a sudden, this big 2% rally that looked like we found a bottom didn't look so good. And so clearly, we are breaking below the lows, and we are headed down to this bottom way down here, although not so fast, because this is what it looked like on March 17th, just a couple of days later, where all of a sudden now it looks like maybe it is holding this zone, and we're heading back up. So that's what just the last 4 weeks have looked like on the long term, trying to figure out, have we found a bottom? Have we made any directional moves? Not so much. And so I think right now we're kind of in the definition of no man's land. We're kind of stuck between here. Could see a break higher, could see a break lower, and maybe the Fed will end up being a critical catalyst to that, but I kind of doubt it. Now, just as an idea of kind of how much pain this has caused, how bad are retail traders getting beat up right now? Well, Tesla was the #1 bullish speculation trade last week again, with $28 million in call options on Tesla. And obviously Tesla not looking real great. Now, ironically, I'm starting to be very attracted to Tesla, and I'm starting to want to buy Tesla. But it's interesting just to note, how kind of ahead of time people have got. Each time we look like we're finding support, it's not so fast. And so I think that's just the long-term environment right now is really difficult. So I'm going to end up beating a dead horse here and talking about the short-term environment in a minute. But first, let me just take a quick pivot and talk about the actual Fed. So Fed expectations. Not going to be changing rates today unless, they want to absolutely shock the market, like Jeffrey said, pretty much already set in stone. So it's really just all about how Powell positions this update today. Now, in my opinion, the most likely scenario is that Powell plays nice, keeps the expectations about the same, doesn't go off the rails too far. In fact, I think if all he does is say, hey, this is the plan, we're sticking to the plan, things look fine, then it'll be a slightly bullish impact on the market, and we'll kind of get some extra juice in the pop that we're getting, whether that's just a correctional pop that has deeper lows or a real return to higher highs. We're going to have to wait and see on that. But I think that's the most likely scenario. Now, what I find interesting is that because of who Trump is and what's happening right now, I would say that Powell has a bigger opportunity today than just about any of others I've seen to say something that throws a pretty dramatic wrench in things. So, for example, an unlikely scenario is that he tries to cement his legacy, play hero, and basically say something like, listen, Trump's doing this or this is going on, but we're not going to stand for that. We're going to help. We're going to, help Americans. They need us to figure this thing out. And we're going to, which, by the way, I think would be a disaster. But he could potentially do something like that. We've seen other chairmen pick their spot and try to cement their legacy in a moment. And if he does that, the market will love it in the short term, I'm sure. If he just says, listen, screw tariffs, all this stuff, we're here to help America. We're gonna get liquidity moving. I think the market would absolutely love it for the short term and rip higher. Now, an even crazier, less likely scenario would be that he actually aligns with Trump and really tries to buddy up here and says, listen, I think, what we've got going on here is it's good for the long term. Yes, there's going to be some short term pain, but this is ultimately going to work out. America's going to be healthy. I think there's about a 0.01% chance that Powell would say something like that. But if he did, it would just be the lookout below scenario. If the Fed says, yeah, listen, we're all in, we're gonna clean out the crap, we're gonna take it on the nose for a while here and let things work out, then you know, I'd
Nate,
I'd
what
look
were
for
the
an
odds? What was the odds you said on that
yeah,
scenario?
I think about 0.01%. But I'm just, hey, I want to throw out the scenarios.
Die.
I do think it would be just amazing if he did one of these. Potentially not amazing for our, brokerage accounts, but just amazing for the hysteria if he actually, took a left or right turn. So I would say those are the scenarios, and obviously I'm expecting the first one to play out. Now, because I'm anticipating a more neutral response, I don't think the key action here is to predict the long-term direction in the market. So again, I think the biggest insight here is that price action is actually cleaner on the short term than the long term, something that Kane said, and something that I would normally never say. I'm always in the practice of saying, hey, zoom out, look at the monthly chart, really take. Although I guess the monthly chart's still pretty clean, but the daily chart and the weekly chart. And right now, I just showed you that weekly chart has been really hard to track. Every time it looks like we found a bottom, we might be back into a channel. I think it's been really tough. And yet, look at the 15-minute chart over basically the same time frame. Nice clean trend on the 15-minute chart, just to give you an example of how you can pick some of these highs and lows a little more easily on the short term. So again, not to beat a dead horse, but I think the same thing that a lot of people have been saying, these short-term opportunities, when the broad indexes are moving 2% and 3% in a given day, you have so much opportunity, such outsized risk-reward ratios inside the scope of a day. I know that's what Roger's been talking about nonstop. Then he built a tool to do it. Then he hit 5 for 5 winners doing it. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to bow to Roger here and let him actually go through how to approach this. But I think the obvious opportunity is to do that. Now, a couple other insights. I think the Mag 7 have to stop the bleeding or nothing else really matters. So until the Mag 7, until the mega caps quit taking a beating, I don't think this market has any chance to really get a real recovery going. It might balance out with big rotations into energy, utilities. That risk off might give it a little bit of a buoy, but we're not ripping higher until the Mag 7 get their act together. And like Roger said, I think we are getting closer to that point. You can see here, that's the Mags, MAGS. Great ticker to watch, by the way, MAGS for the Mag 7. It is underperforming the SPY by about 3-1, which obviously we typically want it to lead the S&P and give us our upside. Right now, it's dragging it down quite a bit. By the way, as long as retail traders are buying up options, it's really hard for me to believe we're not going to keep getting these flushes, whether they're 1 day or 2 day flushes, or like we've seen lately, 4-week flushes. I just think as long as we're in this, 70-30 ratio of buying speculative options to the bullish side, we're going to keep seeing the market makers beat the crap out of those and take that money. Other than technology and consumer discretionary, we're seeing a lot of snapbacks in sectors. Basically, if something like health, financial, utilities, or energy is really overextended in the short term, I think those are some of the best trades you can take right now. Just kind of play them reverting to the mean. I've been doing that a lot lately. Kind of goes in line with that shorter term trading. And I think, avoid technology, avoid consumer discretionary, maybe avoid communications, but the rest of the sectors I think are good plays just on reversion to the mean. And then I think my last one here is, I don't really see how you can go wrong with gold here. I say it's only up 100% in the last 3 years, but the last cycle pushed it up about 500%. And it really is acting like a risk-off asset, which it doesn't always. Gold can be a little tricky in that way. But lately, has pretty much been acting as that risk-off. And I think we're going to continue to get some of that liquidity flowing in, with panic over the next couple of weeks. So I still like gold. I'm both holding it and trading it more actively. So, Stephen, I hope I didn't go too long. I tried to rip through those as quickly as I could.
Great. No, not at all. Real quick for the beginners in the room, what are the Mag 7? Can you explain that real quick?
Oh, the Magnificent Seven, which, by the way, again, use that ticker MAGS. Those are the mega cap technology companies, your NVIDIAs, Teslas, Metas, Googles, Facebook. Did I already say Facebook? Meta, Microsoft. Those are your big dogs who have been almost solely responsible for the major growth here of the last couple of years.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just wanted to add one thing to what Nate said, and that's I also like gold quite a bit, but I think that it's gotten a little bit ahead of itself. I think that maybe waiting just a little bit to get in may be a smart idea, but I do like it. I just think that it could be just a bit overdone in the short term.
I agree,
Awesome.
Roger.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And before we get to a Q&A and start getting your questions in the chat for that, and before we turn the stage over to Roger to share his big breakthrough, Graham, you have been patiently waiting since the very beginning. I threw you the first lightning round, and now you've been waiting. So what have you got for us? What do you want to share with people today?
I'm just soaking it all in. It's great being on here with everybody. So many bright minds on here. I'm always learning. I know the feedback in the chat has been tremendous. So hopefully I give you guys some good nuggets here as well. We just came off a 16-day streak where the NASDAQ fell at least 1% midday against 16 days in a row. I don't know the last time that's happened. It's been a long, long time. It was brutal. Straight slide. We're going down a slide with not a single bounce, basically. It's a tough time to be a swing trader. Tough time to hold long-term positions. You guys know I do both of those things. It's a great time to be a day trader. It's a great time to be nimble in the markets. I know Chris has done a great job. I think he's 29 for 30 on his daily profit plays. Jeffrey is triple threat. It's doing awesome. And then Roger has maybe the coolest tool that I've ever seen for day trading the broad markets, which we'll get to in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and go full-on bull market for you guys here. At least a big strong rebound. I'm not going to say all-time highs today or off this bounce, but I will say I think we're going to get at least a 50% to 70% retracement. Back to the highs. Here's the American Association of Individual Investors survey. You can see when it gets above that 60% of individual investors leaning bearish, typically a good time to buy. So we just had it above 55% for 3 weeks in a row. Last time that happened was the bottom of the 2008 crash. You can see here, every time this thing spikes, it's the bottom. So there's 2022's bottom. Here is 2009's bottom. Here's the bottom of the tech bubble. Here is back in the 90s. So anytime this number gets crazy out of control, typically it's a good time to buy. Now what's wild and crazy to me is we had this insane spike off of this drop. You got to like get your magnifying glass out to see this drop here compared to 2008 or the tech bubble. Why is it so wildly spiked here on bear sentiment? I don't know. Seems a bit overdone. This was from Tom Lee, who's been bullish over the last week or so. He actually called the crash, a big, very famous hedge fund manager, and now he's saying he's buying the dip. This was the 5th fastest correction. So a correction is a move downwards of 10%. 5th fastest correction in the history of the markets. Now here's what's important. All previous rapid corrections, the S&P went higher over the next 3, 6, and 12 months forward. So he says the bottom is likely in unless we're going to get some sort of crazy recession. I agree with that. So there you see the data. We are the 5th fastest correction in history. 3 months forward, it's been positive in the S&P. Look at 6 months, guys. These are really, really big numbers. 12 months, also really big numbers. So this is just the data here for you. Seasonally speaking, beginning of March it's usually a rocky month. So this is the last 20 years in the S&P 500. End of February, first half of March, here highlighted in red. This is the average market movement. Very similar to what we've seen this year, followed by a very, very bullish period in all-time highs here. If we go a little bit into a closer look at that, here's that same chart, but just zoomed in for March. So right here, 17th, 18th of March is normally the bottom in the markets. And then we tend to go higher from there. Moving forward, actually, let me go here really quick. If we're going to look at the put to call ratio, again, I'm slamming bullish information down your throat here because that's all I'm really seeing right now. And I will put a little asterisk by that. I think all of this can be thrown out the window depending on what Trump does. I think Trump can come out and do something crazy, and you might as well throw all this out the window. But if everything stays as is, I'm very, very bullish right now. If we're looking at the put to call ratio, which basically tells us are there more put buyers or call buyers in the market right now, typically we see a number around 0.8. Which means there's more call buyers than put, about an 8 to 10 ratio of put to calls. And that makes sense. Stocks tend to go up. Of course, there would be more call buyers. However, every time we get a reading above 1 on the put to call ratio, which means there's more put buyers than normal, typically that's a good time to be buying a dip. So here we had that just this last week. We saw that, I should have zoomed this chart out. August, the correction we had in August had the same thing. This one was for the elections. It's kind of just a random reading here, just people probably buying insurance for the elections. But anytime we get a put to call ratio reading above 1, typically it's a bottom. Let me give you some more information on the put to call ratio. Since 2009, whenever the put to call ratio is above 0.93, while the S&P was in a correction, or at least 10% off the highs, stocks were higher 100% of the time over the next 6 months and 12 months. And again, those aren't small numbers in the S&P. 72% of the time, it was higher over the next month. So we just had this reading. We were just in correction territory last week. I believe the 13th was the day for the S&P 500. 72% of the time over the next 1 month, stocks finish higher. 100% of the time over the next 6 months, they finish higher. So a lot of bullish data here, and more so in the sense that things are overdone. The downside, a lot of the downside, in my opinion, is priced in. The tariff stuff is almost becoming old news. I don't want to say it's old news yet, but like we're sick and tired of hearing of it. It's not like this started on last Friday. No, we've been hearing about this for 2 months now. So a lot of it's priced in. Percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average. We're right here at a great buying opportunity historically. Again, there's that August dip we saw that we bought, the April dip that we saw. We're below 30% and we're bouncing higher off of here. So if I'm going to give my broad market outlook, this is what I think. Again, pending any sort of crazy thing coming out of the White House, I think we're going to get a bounce to the 580, 585 range, maybe a little consolidation from there, and then up to 600 on the S&P or the SPY here. So that'd be about a 70% retracement to the highs. And then again, you can shift this graph depending on what happens. I think if we get good news coming out, you can just shift this higher and say we'll end up at all-time highs over the next 2 months. If negative news comes out, shift it down lower. But generally speaking, if nothing changes, if things hold the same, this is about what I'm seeing right now. If you want my top stock holdings right now, here's the list of the 5. Obviously, the SPY is one of them, so nothing exciting there. But I've added more: GEV, HWM, ANET, which has been a thorn in my side, but I'm hanging in there. Progressive, which is down today, down 4% off positive news. This thing has been pretty much bulletproof during this whole crash. It's been trading at all-time highs, and you can get in at a little discount today. And as a little bonus pick to wrap it all up, Fortinet, we've traded this one multiple times. I don't think we've lost on Fortinet yet as far as the underlying stock position. It's entering a seasonal pattern of buying right now over the next 19 days. 6% average return on the stock. It's coming off a dip. Very strong stock. Looks like a good buy. So there you go. Flew through that for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Graham. Thank you for the bullish, optimistic outlook on that too. I would love to say I planned that to close the, main part of the session, but it just worked out that way. I think one of the key takeaways from everybody today, which is why I'm so excited, Roger, for what you're going to share here in just a bit, is kind of that switch to a shorter time frame, the, more focus on zero DTE and anything, in that kind of shorter time frame. So while we've got a few minutes here for Q&A, one question I did see pop up a few times from Annette and other people is, people worry about when you switch to that shorter time frame, the margin restrictions and things like that. So anybody who wants to, can you kind of give a word on how people can navigate the, day trading and that, and, the potential for the margin account versus how they can control their trading and avoid those if they have a smaller account or just starting out?
Can I start?
Please.
All right. Well, there's several different ways. The first way and the most simplest way is just to take your account. Say you have $10,000 or $9,000. Is open 2 or 3 or 4, preferably 3 or 4 cash accounts, not margin accounts. So you can open up a $2,000 account with Tasty Trade. You can open up a $2,000 account with Robinhood, $2,000 account Thinkorswim, and or Schwab now. Back in the day, it was Thinkorswim, and you're good to go. That's the easiest way to do it. That's the fastest way. Actually, it's not the easiest way to do it. That's actually the more complicated, if you want to call it, way to do it. And the easiest way, and I'll talk about this when we have our class. You can also trade E-minis. Most stock brokerages allow E-minis. Micro E-minis, there's no day trading requirements with them. Margin is anywhere from $50 overnight to $500 overnight. And you could now trade them with E-Trade. You could trade it with Robinhood, Tasty Trade. You can't trade it with Fidelity, but you could trade it with Thinkorswim. And margin will vary depending, but there's no day trading requirements. And you could trade the QQQ, the SPY, the NASDAQ. You could do all of that with it without any kind of day trading problems. So there's multiple ways of doing this. And I created a whole video in my members area. We actually spent about 30 minutes talking about it today. It's now in my members area for people who purchase the Alpha Zone and people who enroll in that program, of how they could do it with very, very minimal effort. So there are two ways of doing it. One, just open up several accounts, cash accounts, and just trade the under, the way we do it. Or just open up, or not even open up. Now 75-80%. Somebody just pointed out Interactive Broker has had E-mini since day one. You could use Interactive Broker, you could use TradeStation, you could use Thinkorswim, Ninja Trader. All of those have E-minis. You can literally go to Google, type in E-minis or micro E-minis, and you'll see a whole thing. And again, they have no day trading requirements. There's no overnight margin type of thing. You could trade with as little as $40 to $50 for micro E-mini S&Ps. I have tons of folks doing it, and they're very happy, and we'll talk more about it at 1 o'clock.
Awesome. Interesting question from a little earlier for Bill. Kane, this might be a good one for you, or anybody's welcome to jump in. But he asked, do you think Powell's response or his speech, at 2 p.m. is more aimed towards, officials in the government and policymakers, or is it more aimed towards calming the general public and the markets, or is it a mix of both? Kane, maybe you can share your thoughts.
Sure. I don't think Powell cares about anyone in the administration. I don't think he cares one cent. So he's aimed at the public, in my opinion, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
I love that question. I was going to shout out that same question. That was my favorite question of the whole chat. Who's he even talking to today? It's a great question.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And, Nate, I like that you said 0.01% chance that Powell aligns with Trump, and I think that's, extremely high.
Well, listen, you can't totally underestimate backroom deals in Washington, D.C. All right, you can't.
I suppose that's true.
You never know.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I thought your odds were actually like perfect. FYI.
That would be the biggest chaos option for sure. Folks, please send other questions in the chat. Jeffrey, I know you've been talking a little bit about XSP to folks on the chat. You were talking earlier about a crypto ticker, I feel too, that I may have forgotten. Can you
XRP?
XRP, thank you. I knew it was close. I couldn't remember the
very different things though. Yeah, XSP is the mini options index for the S&P 500. A lot of platforms you got to put a dollar sign. I just brought it up right on Robinhood. They just listed index tickers recently, and it's just XSP. There's no dollar sign, there's no special anything, just XSP pulls right up. It's the mini options index. Now, some advantages of trading index tickers over stuff like SPY and QQQ is there's no early execution. Like, it is cash settled, and there are no ability for anybody to ever early execute you on an options position. So if you're doing something like a credit spread, like my green light income alerts, it takes one of those risks out of there of being executed early. And it's just, little tricks in the market that I think all of us kind of have as gurus.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
And everybody still with me?
Yep. Sorry.
And XRP is a crypto. It's Ripple. It is run by a company. That's a big red flag for me in a crypto. I don't like centralized control. I'm kind of like head deep into crypto. I read the white paper when it came out in 2009 for Bitcoin, 16 years ago. That's feeling like a long time ago now. And the crypto space is a fast moving place. We've got almost 200,000 new cryptos a week right now with the ease of creating cryptos on Solana. It's a dangerous place right now. And I think we're going to need some stability in the market. Bitcoin is kind of my big risk on risk off indicator for the market. Bitcoin, when global liquidity starts ticking up, Bitcoin usually takes off 2 to 4 weeks after that. And then 2 to 4 weeks after Bitcoin starts moving, we see the S&P move. Now, that's not a rule. That's just a guideline. And, right now, Bitcoin and the S&P and the NASDAQ could all start taking off together. And, that could lead to that big upside target, 6,600. As far as time frame, right now I'm looking at late summer, maybe fall before we hit that. Could happen faster, could happen slower. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And then 4,000 before 7,000, that might be a 2027. So that's kind of my timelines there. Inside of that, how do you make money? Shorter term trades. That's why I'm super interested in what Roger's got to say today.
Awesome. Sweet. One last question. Graham, you were very bullish overall. What's the one, kind of main takeaway you want for folks right now for, who maybe missed a little bit of what you had to say, or why should we be positive heading into the Fed meeting and what Roger has to say?
Cool. Yeah, I know I've got 1 minute till I've got to turn it over to Roger. I am bullish right now for the next month or two. But one really key thing to know is that it's not going to be the same market that we saw before of slowly chugging higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. I think we're going to see more volatility, bigger intraday swings, huge days up, and then like days like yesterday where we get big drops and people get scared again. What's really important, two things. One, to be nimble. Like Roger's going to talk about, having this opportunity or just this ability to be nimble during the day. Day trading is really important. Number two, and this is really, really cool in my opinion, today, if you're looking at the options chain on the SPY, it's pricing in a little less than a 1% move from here through the remainder of the day. That's just looking at the options market maker move on the options chain for today's expiration. Now, you guys are about to see something in the next few minutes here, unlike anything I've ever seen before. I don't know if anyone else has been able to replicate this or even make this possible. And you guys are, first off, this is the second time in the world, this is the second time in history that Roger's even sharing this with anyone. First time was on Saturday with his members only. So you guys are in a very special place. But if you guys look here on this screen, do you see that line just below where the candlesticks are and just above on the chart here? Yeah, see that? Scroll up right there, that line below and that line above. I'm gonna let Roger get into it, but basically what he's done is found a way to take the options market maker moves and plot it on a chart. And you'll notice the S&P tends to stay within that range. That makes it very, very advantageous for traders, intraday traders, to trade this volatility and kind of know where the markets are headed, or when they're capped out and about to turn around. So that's something that gets me really excited right now. I'll look at the implied move, I'll get a good grasp for where the markets may go, but I've never been able to see it applied on top of a chart like Roger has done here. And again, this is the second time in the entire history of our company that Roger is showcasing this. So you guys are in a very, very special place right now in a really opportune time.
Awesome. Thank you, Graham. Thank you to Kane, Jeffrey, Nate, and Chris as well. Appreciate all your insights. Love doing these roundtables. And Roger, I think everybody set the stage right now for why zero DTE is so important and focusing on this new breakthrough that you have. So we got well over 1,000 people here. I don't want to waste any more time. Why don't you get into it and tell us what you've got?
All right, let me share my screen, and we're gonna make this happen.
All right, enjoy it, everyone. This is gonna be awesome.
Folks,
Yeah, we're looking forward to
take a
this.
pen, paper, don't go anywhere. This is going to be very, 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 very exciting. And we're going to start right now. Folks, I promise you, you're in for a treat. You've never seen anything like this before. This is a specialized 0 and 1 DTE trading tool. It's designed to help you turn a 0.5% micro breakout into gains of 50% or more in 60 minutes or less. Now, I only have only one request for folks here right now. If you've already enjoyed either the free trades that I've been giving for a couple of months, or if you've already had the time to experience this in the last few days that we've launched it, or if you've taken the 5 profitable trades that we've given 5, they've all been profitable, post it in the chat, why don't you? This is a world exclusive premiere for all the PUP participants. And folks, we're going to have a great time. Now, what you're about to see is a brand new, it's never been released before. Profits performance are not typical. You may lose money. The majority of trades are based on historic signals from the Alpha Pro with the benefit of hindsight. Now, we've been using the Alpha Zone Pro with great success in the premium Telegram channel. Very, very important that you guys realize this. We've been using it with great success in the premium Telegram channel. We can't guarantee future results. What you will see today is some of the best examples, and we will show you real trades. There were big winners, there were some smaller winners, and there were some losers too. Since Alpha Zone Pro is a tool for traders and not a trading service, profits performance will vary amongst users. Folks, get ready to see something you've never seen or heard before. Now, there will be losers. There's no black box miracle system that prints out winning trades. The whole purpose of this is to give you an edge. And I think this platform will give you the best edge ever, in my opinion. My name is Roger Scott. You might know me as the founder of the Pro Trader Dashboard, a powerful trading tool that tracks the stocks that institutions are buying or selling in real time as it is happening, right? Now, if you followed me, you know that the Pro Trader Dashboard has been my recipe for success for over the last couple of years, right? I've used it to deliver hand-picked trade opportunities to a group of 1,300 plus traders just like you. And if you've been in it, let folks know about it. The results, 94 94.2% win rate. That's right, a 94.2% win rate. We've had 19 losers. We've had 332 trades. We've had 19 losers. No rolling over, no creative accounting, no monkey business. Now, just don't take my word for it. Listen to some of the top stories for yourself. Randy, your 90% win rate on the trades I've taken, get that bad down with your bad self, brother. I love it. Kirk, that amount has been $58,000. Kirk made $12,900. Wait till you hear his testimonial. 120 days in and only one loss. Eagle, we call him Eagle Beagle. His name is Adam. His win rate has been 96%. Now, that's Richard over there. One of my top students. I've been trading for some time. He made profits of $50,000 in January. Richard, I believe, closed out January and February with $200K. And Richard, if you're here right now, let us know your success. I took my small $2,000 account, turned it into $17,000 in just 6 weeks. Shelton. Roger, here's my P&L update for February. I'm up $6,278. Dave. Alan started with $16,000, now I have over $85,000. And again, if you're here right now, let us know. Steven and Raleigh, they'll repost it. I'm up over $10,000. Good for you, Joanne. Great job. Roddy, I've had over 100 successful trading experiences. If people are still questioning if this is real, it is. That's a retired military guy. In fact, our company has a sheet, which I have a channel where I post these. I get a lot of testimonials. Now, as great as all of these stories are, all right, it pales in comparison to what you're going to see today. Recently, thanks to CBOE, May 9th, 2023, nothing will stay the same. Everything changed after that date. It's all different. They approved a new daily type of option, which now makes up more than half of the S&P 500's daily option trading volume, more than 50%. Now, we've been able to turn a 0.5% micro move on the underlying asset into a 50% more move, 50% or more, not within a week, not overnight, but in 60 minutes or less, opening the doors for anyone with a regular brokerage account to target top moves like 51% gain in 37 minutes, 66% gain in 29 minutes, 77% gain in 33 minutes, all from tiny, little, wincy, little, tiny 0.5% move on the underlying asset. Now, as crazy as that sounds, you will only find these explosive moves on major indexes, Russell 2000, NASDAQ 100, S&P 500. They don't exist on individual stocks. And as you might know, the Pro Trader dashboard was optimized for day trading individual stocks. Now, 6 months ago, I had an idea. I always have some idea. What if we applied a similar methodology that helped us achieve a 94.2% win rate in the last 16 months on individual stocks to tickers with daily options? Eureka. That way, we could increase our average win by about 5 times on the same size move. I knew if this was possible, it could be the most accurate, explosive day trading system out there. So Matt and I and Brian, you guys all know Brian, began trading daily options on one of the safest and most liquid assets. And I say liquid, I mean this baby is liquid. The SPY, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ 100 too. And now after 6 months of public beta testing in the pit and thousands of lines of code later, we created what might be the most innovative day trading system for the SPY and the QQQ, basically for the indexes out there. Alpha Zone Pro. The Alpha Zone Pro is here, folks. It's a multi-dimensional trading platform that tells you when the SPY will likely break out or break down. Pretty cool, right? Before it happens, without using RSI, moving average indicators, Bollinger Band, trend lines, MACD, Fibonacci, or Elliott Wave. None of that stuff. No indicators. It uses one of them, one time, once. Throw these away. Throw these away. They're all lagging. They're all lagging behind price. You got to use sentiment. Sentiment drives price. Momentum drives price. So after this week, the Red Carpet members have been able to make a killing thanks to the Alpha Zone Pro. I launched it on Saturday just to my guys. SPY trade number 1 did pretty good. Pretty good. 21% in 25 minutes. SPY day trade number 2, 34% in 53 minutes. This is between Monday and today. We launched it on Saturday, okay? Just to my guys, SPY day trade number 3, 27% in 5 minutes. SPY day trade number 4, 13% in 1 hour. SPY day trade number 5, 9% in 1 hour. So far, we've racked up 103% in total gains this week, and it's only Wednesday. And we haven't done a trade today yet, waiting for the announcement. And a lot of you have done even better than we have. Glenn, David, John, Tinia, David. This is just from the last 3 days, folks. Great results from the first 2 days, up $5,630 in profits. I'm loving the Alpha Zone Pro. $1,613 in profit, going multiple trades today, going bearish on SPY. Thank you, Kurt. Anyone who passes this buy is nuts. And this guy's hard to please, too. He's not easy, Stu. I've made, he said if he keeps doing this, he's going to start calling me Uncle Roger. I've made $3,013 in my first 2 days. Oh, yeah, it's like that. It's all thanks to a brand new Alpha Zone Pro. And while the Alpha Zone Pro might look complex at first glance, I've made it so stinking simple that anyone with a pulse can use it. Let me show you how it works. Before you even start the day, you get lines, automatically calculates the SPY's likely move for the day. You see here it says likely move. This is the up and this is the down. The probable move, look at this, probable move with labels too. Yes. And max move. Not bad, right? That means that price will likely stay boxed into this zone 95% of the time. In other words, 95 days out of the 100, the SPY will not close outside of the max move. These zones are marked on the implied volatility that the market makers price into the daily options. And it's all right there for you. It takes an hour for them to calculate, so you don't do anything for the first hour with these. Which means we're using the odds already calculated by Wall Street trillion-dollar investment firms and applying it on top of our charts. That's because the market makers will try every trick in the book to keep prices within that zone so they don't lose money on the day. They're trading opposite of you. Remember, they're trading opposite of you. We want to look for breakouts when price approaches the max move to the downside. Ba-boom! You fade it back into the trend. And we want to look for breakdowns when the price reaches the max move to the upside. Ba-boom! Breakdown, reversion. Like on February 10th, the SPY approached the max move to the upside, and then it immediately reversed back into the zone, just like that. 67% gain in 45 minutes. And later that day, the SPY came near the max move to the downside. And a few minutes of sideways price action, guess what it did? It shot right back into the zone as we expected it to. 52% gain in 52 minutes. That's 1% a minute. Oh yeah, it's like that. And guess what? Some of you guys made out like bandits. Darren, David, Adam, 44%, 49%, $800. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Watch it happen again a few days later. Most traders would have seen a chart like this and probably expected more downside continuation. But Alpha Zone Pro signaled the SPY was approaching the max move to the downside. Meaning it was extremely likely to reverse back into the zone. Knowing that anyone could have placed one basic trade right there, and sure enough, the SPY immediately reversed back into the zone. And after reaching the upside target, the SPY sold off and broke down as expected. That would have been two double-digit wins in just over 1 hour. 47% gain in 31 minutes. 68% in 43 minutes. Now, as great as it is to know where the price will stay 95% of the time, that's just the tip of the iceberg for what Alpha Zone Pro is capable of. In addition to the max moves, Alpha Zone has a proprietary momentum indicator, one that doesn't have any lag, that you're not going to find anywhere else in the world, that's specifically designed for stock indexes. To my knowledge, it's the most responsive momentum indicator in existence. You know how I know that? Because if there was a better one, I'd be using it. It's engineered to give momentum readers with zero lag, no lag. And the way it works couldn't be more straightforward. When the momentum indicator turns from red to yellow, like you see right there, see how it goes from red to yellow? That means the SPY has bottomed out and is beginning to break out to the upside. Red to yellow equals upside breakout, red to yellow. See that? Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Red to yellow equals breakout. Of course, you can use it to front run breakdowns too. When it goes from blue to yellow or bluish to yellow, like you see right there, it means the SPY is about to break down. Blue to yellow equals breakdown. It's not difficult, folks. Blue to yellow, breakdown. Blue to yellow, breakdown. Most people think you need to price to move up or down to measure momentum. That's a big, big problem with most momentum indicators out there. They wait for price to move before signaling a breakout or a breakdown. That means by the time you actually get the entry signal, it's too late to profit since the move is already halfway done. You need the decision for a stock to break out, and I hope you're listening and I hope you're paying attention because I'm giving you guys some really good value right now, okay? The decision for a stock to break out is not decided here like most traders believe it is. It's right there. That's where the decision is made. The breakout is the result of the accumulation. That's why you need a momentum indicator with zero lag. Once that tells you when the stock will break out or break down before the price makes a move. And AlphaZone Pro does exactly that. Here's how it works. Take a look at these hypothetical candlestick wicks, okay? Just imagine for a second, hypothetically, that the upper price is $10 and the low is $9. That price is just going every day between $9 and $10 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. $9, $10. High is the 10, low is the 9. It's not moving anywhere, right? There's no momentum, right? In this case, most traders would agree that momentum has been flat. Well, right? Dead wrong. The price has actually been increasing while the price remained stuck. Let me show you. You see, when you dive in and actually analyze the candlestick bodies, you will see the closing price. The closing prices have been going higher from left to right. You could see that candlestick closes trending higher and higher as time goes by. Internal momentum was increasing even though external momentum was doing squat. Capiche? In other words, the market makers were accumulating shares before the market marking up their price. Price moving up or down is a result. It's a conclusion. It's something that's been decided beforehand, okay? And that's what makes AlphaZone Pro custom momentum indicators so darn useful. It measures the internal momentum of sideways trading action in real time, giving you a chance to get in front of what could be the next breakout, ba-boom, or the next breakdown, just like that, before it happens. Before it happens. And that's the key. The key is before, not after it's happening. Everybody could do it after the fact. And based on the testing we've done and the actual trades we've done, the accuracy is on a whole new level. Let's say you took $1,000 to invest on Wednesday, February 26th, shortly after the market opened, before you even had a time to finish your cup of coffee. $490 profit in 17 minutes. $430 profit in 23 minutes. $510 profit in 36 minutes, $1,270 profit in 77 minutes, $790 profit in 54 minutes, $480 again in 39 minutes, $570 in 33 minutes. It didn't miss once. Altogether, that would have been $4,540 profit in just one day of trading. You could have done something fun that night with your family. Woke up the next morning, and you could have done it all over again. How come they can't use my picture in here? Why did they have to use some stranger's face? I protest. $490 profit in 27 minutes, $970 profit in 67 minutes, 1,493 minutes, and 420 in 24. Lunch break. Another 390 in 17 minutes, 440 in 21. When you add it all up, that's $4,120 a day in a day back to back. More than enough to make anyone happy. Now, don't get carried away. Losers are part of the game too. And that's why you should never risk more than you can afford to lose. But overall, we did this beta test in the last couple of months with over almost 1,400 beta testers in my pit. And they've been making out like bandits. What did they say? Debbie, 68% profit on the last one, up $500, 3 for 3, $5,000 on the last one. Thomas is making money in it at 78 cents and out at $1.40, 79% return, 10 minutes. Scott, 131%. Huh? Nice, right? Keep the SPY trades coming. I'm up 8 for 8. I've taken 650 on that one. John. Now, I could just stop here and let you run wild with this, okay? And you can get it up and running in today if you wanted to. All you got to do is copy this code. Look at this. You take it, press a button, you copy it, put it there. It literally takes about 10 seconds. You're ready to go. That's easy. But we all know no strategy wins all the time. So in order to keep the highest win rate, Matt and I went above and beyond and created specialized, customized buy and sell arrows to help you pick the best entries. Of course, these buy and sell signals couldn't be any simpler. A green arrow means buy. A red arrow means sell. Very easy. When momentum is red and price is trending down, we want to watch for the green arrow. That tips us off that momentum is about to reverse. In this example, ba-boom, 78% in 49 minutes. Notice how the green arrow would have tipped us off before the momentum indicator flipped bullish. Watch it happen once again. Momentum indicator is red and has bottomed out, right? Ba-boom, there's the the green arrow right there. Sure enough, it would have nailed the exact bottom. The exact bottom, folks. 2 candlesticks before the bullish momentum reading. 69% in 37 minutes. As you would have expected, the down arrow works the same way in the opposite direction too. When momentum is blue and price is trending up like it is right there, we want to look for a down arrow. That means it's a good time to sell or go short because momentum is likely reversing soon. As you could see in this example, upside momentum fizzled out a few minutes after AlphaZone Pro printed a red arrow, 71% in less than 1 hour. Now, AlphaZone Pro doesn't just randomly print out buy and sell arrows. A very strict set of criteria must be met for an arrow to appear on your chart. First, we need to see a specific type of candlestick which precedes a trend change. A bearish hammer or a bullish hammer. If you don't have a 20-day high or low with a bearish or bullish hammer, you're not getting an arrow. In a downtrend, the bullish hammer candlestick indicates when final sellers have been flushed out and a trend reversal is likely. In a bearish hammer candlestick scenario, in a resistance almost always marks the end of an uptrend or an end of an auction. Okay, and I go deep into the members area and how to use all this. When the AlphaZone Pro spots a hammer reversal candlestick that's made a 20-bar high or a 20-bar low, we get a candle like that. Very, very cool candle, a reversal candles. You could see them right here. Nice, right? You got the levels, you got the candles, you got the momentum here. It's a perfect night. And remember, the AlphaZone Pro does all of these calculations for you automatically. As a matter of fact, it doesn't do anything the first hour of the day. It calculates all that stuff. So all you really need to know is this. A green arrow means buy. A red arrow means sell. If you can handle that, you're golden. The system automatically pairs the ultimate zero lag momentum indicator with the market maker's likely, probable, and max priced in for the day, and gives us a high probability buy and sell arrow over and over and over again. Folks, I wanted to solve another problem for you, and I did it with this tool. It's virtually an unstoppable force. Let's say you have $2,000 trading account. And by the way, you could do this with a cash account. You could do this with e-minis. I'll talk about that in a minute. Don't give me the excuse that you don't have $25,000 for day trading. That ain't going to work with this one. I've made it stupid simple. I've made it so simple that even if you have $500, you could day trade with this till the cows come home. Let's say you had $2,000 trading account. That's $1,220 profit in 61 minutes. $1,440 profit in 18 minutes. $1,370 profit in 37 minutes. Lunch break. Another $1,620 profit in 93 minutes, $960 in 44 minutes. When everything works out, that could have been an extra $6,610 in piggy bank from 1 day of trading. More than enough to put a smile on anyone's face. Now, here's where the AlphaZone Pro takes it up a notch. If you've been trading options for a while, you know that a lot of the time, some of the best stocks have extremely pricey options, right? When it comes to swing trading, in order to get maximum profits without paying for time decay, you're left buying very expensive options that have 2, 3, 4 weeks till expiration. options that cost $800, $1,000, sometimes even $2,000. But because we're using these micro breakouts on SPYs, we're able to tap into very cheap options that expire today or the next day because we're only going to be in the trade for half an hour. What do I care? Actually, I get a lot more leverage without paying for the time decay. Now, this opportunity was not available till about a year and a half ago. The technical term for these are zero-dated DTE options, and we trade 0 and 1 day DTE options. And we tell you the option, the strike price. Now, you could trade them with a regular brokerage account, with any Robinhood, Webull, Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Tastywork, Interactive Brokers. You can also trade E-minis, E-mini futures. It was designed from the ground up for E-minis. They have a margin requirement of $500 or $50, whether you're trading the micro or the E-mini, and you could trade them without any day trading 25K requirements, okay? Now, why zero DTE option? They're very cheap. I don't think we ever go above $500. Most are between $100 and $300. They're amazing liquidity. They're the only options you can buy with a market order. I mean, they literally have like a cent spread. Low exposure to time decay because we're only holding for an hour, half an hour, 2 hours, not 2 days. Small 0.5% move on the SPY can mean 50% or more, and we've seen it 5 times just the last 2 days. For example, look at what happened on Friday, March 7th. Alpha Zone Pro flashed a buy signal. There it is, right here. There's your buy signal, right there, right there. And notice momentum shifts right afterwards. Now, if you were trading a normal SPY option, it would cost you an arm and a leg to get in, about $2,103. But with the zero DTE option, right, with the zero DTE option, it would have only costed you $171. Normal option, $2,100. Zero DTE, $171. And look at the difference in the returns over the next 53 minutes. Take a look for yourself. 5% versus 57%. It's not even close. Which would you prefer? The answer is obvious. The zero DT options have so much leverage. You can get in with less money, get far better fills, and supercharge a small 0.5% move. It was the same thing just a few days later, Tuesday, March 11th. Alpha Zone Pro flashed another buy arrow as momentum started turning. Normal option would be $2,500. Zero DT, $2,350. And the results over the next hour, 8% versus 81%. That's 10 times better bang for your buck. Now, the biggest advantage of these zero DT options is that it doesn't matter what the stock market does tomorrow, next week, or next year. All we need is a micro breakout in either direction to target a 50% move or more in 60 minutes or less. And we can do it multiple times per day. We did it 5 times in the last 48 hours. Just a few hours later, Alpha Zone printed a sell arrow on a massive hammer reversal. The bigger those reversal bars, the better. Anyone could have bought into it with $200, not $2,332, $200. And you could have made 74% return. That's 13 times better return on your money at a fraction of the cost. And you're literally holding 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. These zero DT options are cheap and explosive and punchy. They open the door to an entirely new way to trade the SPY. Now, some of the top gains on our beta testers, and these are actual numbers that our folks have experienced. Robert, 163% return. Renee, 230% return. Philip, 266% return. Evan, 335% return. Rabia, 305%. These are regular people just like you who are cleaning it up with these options. The potential of these zero DT options is on a whole new level. That's why it's no surprise these new options have become the most popular way to trade on Wall Street. Last month, zero DT options accounted for a record 56% option volume in February. Do you see? I'm not the only one getting in on these, okay? And the best part about zero DT options, we're always out of the trade at the end of the day. We've never held a trade overnight. There's no swing trading here. They're all day trades, which means zero time spent worrying about open positions when the markets are closed, and more time doing some fun stuff. Doing some fun stuff like my wife and my kids are doing in Los Angeles without me right now. I get no respect. Alpha Zone Pro is for traders who want a shot to profit every single day. Despite the news headlines, despite the Fed, don't even get me started. That's a great picture, by the way. And despite the overall direction of the market, every single day is a new opportunity for Alpha Zone Pro. So the way I see it, you got a couple of choices. You can face the harsh reality that the markets could be dead money for nearly 8 months You can worry about market crashing even more thanks to tariffs. And you can ignore the fact that individual stocks are the most expensive they've been in history. There's a better option, much better option. Leverage the odds that are already calculated by Wall Street's trillion-dollar investment firms. Use the all-new specialized day trading system that's designed to target multiple breakouts per day with zero lag. Target 50, 75, even 100% gains in a matter of minutes with the most liquid options out there. Now, I've just shown you countless opportunities where you could have booked incredible gains in 60 minutes or less, multiple times per day. You can't go back, but we can all go forward. What are you going to do? Will you take action? Stewart, I'm only playing your SPY 0DT trades these days. I'm happily taking an 89% gain. My gosh, I might call you. That's what I was saying. He said he's going to call me Uncle Roger. Robert, good morning. These quick 0DTs are working great. 24.6, 62.9 on the other. Thank you. You are a magic money man. I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. And folks, don't go anywhere. The best part is going to come soon. William, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Roger, we got almost 1,200 people here. $570 profit with a 56% gain. A great way to start the day. Tinia, thanks for the trade. Now she's trading E-minis, actually. I saw her thing yesterday. $940 on that one. Feel free to share. I am. David, I really enjoyed these 0DT trades. They're fast-paced and fun to do. Rich. Thank you, Roger. Made 105% on the trade. That, my friend, does not grow on trees. No, it does not. Today, I want to invite you to take action and join me with your very first trade using the all-new tool, the first of its kind, the Alpha Zone Pro. Everything you need to get started today can be found in your Alpha Zone Pro Getting Started Guide. You'll find a step-by-step video to get you set up in no time at all. Remember, there's no install needed. All you got to do is copy and paste a simple link. It literally takes 10 seconds and a couple of mouse clicks. And if you need assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any related questions that you may have. That's not all. Once you have it set up and ready to go, I'll also going to train you all week this week, and it's all recorded, and I'm going to do several other sessions. We're recording all this. So there's going to be about 7 to 8 hours of instructions of how to use it. It's not because it's complicated. It's just I want to spend a lot of time, answer every question, review everything 50%. I mean, I want to be real thorough here, okay? Every day this week, and they're all recorded and in their members area. I'm doing a live masterclass where you can ask me questions related. I'm giving you a sheet that shows you how to calculate stuff. These sessions will be recorded, placed in your members area if you can't make it. Because the truth is, I've only scratched the surface of what the Alpha Zone Pro is capable of today. Matt and I just finished up dynamic profit targets and stop loss clouds for those of you who want even faster trades. Profit target, stop loss, the clouds will tell you where your profit target is. It's all automatic. And if you want more relaxed day trades, we got you covered too. We've added a complete VWAP-based trading system that included on the right side with Alpha Zone Pro, and I show you exactly when and how to use it. The white arrows are entirely different criteria, and I'm covering it this week in the masterclass of how to use it for maximum efficiency. It's a 2-for-1 BOGO special, buy one, get one free. That means not only are you getting access to the most useful day trading platform that I've ever seen, so useful that I had to create one myself, but we're also going to coach you on how to use it too. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. And I don't mean a half-hour coach. I mean 7 to 8 hours. My publisher's price for this is going to be $39.95, and I could assure you the price is only going up, not down. If you try to sign up, it'll be $39.95, and there's no around that, okay? Even though it's the first time I'm opening enrollment, I think $39.99 is the more than fair considering the success we've already seen. Plus, anybody with access will have virtually unlimited number of trades to choose from on a daily basis. Now, here's the deal. I'm convinced publisher Nate to do something crazy, something I still can't believe he agreed to do. Because you're here right now watching this webinar today. Instead of paying $39.95 for 1 year, I'm going to give you $2,000 off. So instead of paying $39.95, I'm going to make it $19.95. That's not all. If you join right now to celebrate this is first time we're doing this publicly. We did it just for my guys on Saturday, but we're doing publicly now. I'm going to make it lifetime on the house. So because we're going to be making a lot of upgrades over the next couple of years. So instead of seeing $39.95 for 1 year, I'm going to give it to you today for $19.95 for lifetime. There's a catch. There's always a catch. On Saturday, I invited my close followers to a red carpet event to unveil this, right? We had an unveiling. We opened up 299 spots at $19.95, the lifetime price. This is just for close friends, relatives, and people who are in my VIP, lifetime, things like that. I expected to sell 50, maybe 75 of these membership spots. Well, the demand of Alpha Pro was off the charts, and 208 spots are already gone. That means there are only 91, there's 1,100 people, close to 1,200 people here. There are 91 founding membership spots left at that price. And I have no doubt that the last 91 spots will sell out within an hour. I'm my certainty rate in that is about 100%. After that, the price is going to go up. And I can no longer guarantee this incredible $19.95 lifetime deal. So if you're ready to secure one of the first 91 traders in the world to secure access to the Alpha Zone Pro and save thousands of unlimited lifetime membership today, then you better click the link in that chat, because these spots are going to go so fast. I can't even tell you. We have 1,100 people in this. 1,100 people here right now. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this, folks. It's time to get yours. 91 member spots. Instantly save $2,000 and get a free lifetime membership to Alpha Zone Pro. This is the official release date. I've been waiting several months for this. I even wore a brand new shirt I've never wore before to celebrate today. Click the link in the chat or go to rogerscott.com/zone. Don't break the page. Don't have too many people going on there at once. Give us a call at 904-706-3539. And you don't need $25,000 to trade this. I'm going to say it again. You don't need $25,000 to trade this. Just hold on and I'll explain everything to you. All the details of your new Alpha Zone Pro are on the next page. When you join as one of the first 91 founding members, you'll automatically get a free lifetime membership upgrade, plus an instant $2,000 savings. Don't miss this rock bottom price to own Alpha Zone Pro for life. I would hate for you to be one of those 91 people to miss your founding members when it's gone. Click the link in the chat or give us a call to secure your founding membership discount today. And if you're already in this program, let people know. Let the people know. 91 founding membership spots. Important announcement. You're probably following me a lot. You probably know I've been a lot more active in my premium Telegram channel. I've been using the Alpha Zone Pro to find high probability trades on the SPY and then posting them for you to take. And the feedback, it's been amazing. 42%, 44%, 45, 50. I can go on and on and on and on. Of course, there will be bigger winners, but there will be losers too. But overall, you guys have been making money hand over fist, especially the last 2 days where we had 5 winners in a row. Rochelle, already up $2,000 since this morning. Renee, thanks for the bonus trade. Rochelle started with $2,000. She now has over $200,000, last I heard. I made 116% and just closed it out. Thank you very much. Debbie, I'm at my daughter's horse show, and I still made 75%. There you go. That's the life. Ava, 0DT trades, 4 for 4, 10, 21, 9, 30. Thank you both. You are welcome. Thank you, Spy 0DT trades. Just made 62% in 6.5 minutes. Thank you, Tim. Alpha Zone Pro is the ATM. $660 in 20 minutes. Folks, people have been loving them, okay? Post in the chat if you've been making money off your free SPY trades. God knows I've been giving them to you for a couple of months now. Now, I need to be very clear with you. From now on, I will not be sharing them for free. They're going into my publisher. Nate says, Roger, you better stop this. You can't be giving people free SPY trades. Like
hey, and Roger, I got to interrupt you really quick. We have 28
Why?
spots
Well, I'm
left.
having so much fun here.
I was going to interrupt them too,
28
Josiah, because I keep
spots
getting
left.
blamed about the price.
We have 28 spots left at this price. That's how fast these have already flown off the shelves.
Oh my.
Roger, I was just jumping in to say I'm always the bad guy here. I have to defend myself. The reason is because we said last time when you sold your last thing too cheap, we weren't going to do that again because we, probably lost a lot of money selling. And we said, we're not going to do that again. We're just going to let the people who really want it in the door. We're not going to do the big discount. And then fast. So I wasn't trying to rip people off. Okay. Just for the record, I was just saying, we said we weren't going to do these special discounts. And then here we are. So I'm just defending myself. But anyway, carry on.
All right, all right. Thank you, Nate. Yeah, I never suggested that you were ripping anyone off or anything like that. Anyway.
I
He
know, I'm
said
just kidding.
anyway. He said it's unfair for my paying subscribers that I continue to give out free alerts. That's what Nate said, and I said you're right. But I'd love
Hey,
to
and
keep giving.
Roger, Nate, I hate to interrupt you guys, but we just hit 299 spots at this special discount. So we will be jacking up the price now. But guys, I have great news. I just pinged Nate here on the side. We've actually allowed another 299 spots at a different special price. It's still a massive discount, Roger, to what we had on the retail order form. But another 299 spots we've just opened up. Yeah, keep clicking that link or call our team.
All right, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing, but I would love to keep giving these to you guys. So here's what I'm gonna do. Starting this week, we launched a new room, Zero DT Spy trading room called the Trading Zone Live. And just like the pit, we give trades in that room. Here's how the all new Trading Zone Live will work. Every single day, we'll use the Alpha Zone Pro to find the best setups to target on the SPY together. When I see a SPY trade that looks too good to pass by, I'm going to send you an email, a Telegram alert, and we're going to give you everything you need. We're going to give you the strike price, the expiration date, everything you need will be there. Nothing will be held off. Straight to your cell phone, so there's absolutely no guesswork involved whatsoever. Look, the strike price, expiration, our fill price, live. You can expect between 1 to 3 alerts per day. In the last 2 days, we haven't given any today. We're waiting for the announcement, but we've already had 5 Monday and Tuesday, and guess what? Yes, they were all winners. And I'll even provide real-time market analysis on the SPY as I see it. On a typical day, Matt and I watch the market 8 hours a day. You guys know that. I mean, I'm here constantly with you guys. So you don't have to. So after you secure your Alpha Zone Pro, don't exit the page. Get your, well, not anymore. There's no 90, but Josiah said he's given you another offer, so there should be some spots left. You'll find the chance to opt into the Trading Zone Live at over 70% off the retail price before we officially launch it in the coming weeks. You'll get immediate access. You get immediate access, action-packed zero DT SPY trades in the official Trading Zone Live Telegram channel. That means you will continue receiving the exciting trade alerts that you've come to love that I've been giving you guys for free for the last 2 months. This is the private channel that's only open to the final 90. It's open still. He said it's still open, so it's open. But there's not a lot of spots left from what I understand. That's the best I was able to understand what Josiah was saying. I'm going to let him deal with all of this stuff. But they haven't told me to stop yet. So if they haven't told me to stop, I'm going to keep talking, okay? So Trading Zone Live will be the most action-packed exclusive group yet. I cannot wait to see you in there. I literally cannot wait to see you in there. Don't miss this opportunity to secure your spot at over 70% off. Folks, again, they have another offer. I'm assuming the price is reasonable or similar. Remember the opportunity. Alpha Zone Pro is the only trading platform I know of that's designed to target micro breakouts on the SPY and turn them into a shot at 50% more in 60 minutes or less. And I don't want you going anywhere because I'm going to talk about how you could do all this easily if you don't have a $25,000 account, okay, without getting into any kind of trouble or without any kind of monkey business, multiple times per day. Despite the news headlines, despite what the Fed does, despite the overall direction of the market, every single day is a new opportunity to target lightning fast profits with Alpha Zone Pro. And you don't have to look at 500 stocks like this. You're just looking at one thing, just one thing. Like what would have happened on Wednesday, February 26th? Let's say you had $2,000 to invest. 30 minutes, just 30 minutes after the market opened, you would have made $980 in profit in 17 minutes. $860 in 23 minutes. How about $1,020 in 36 minutes? $2,540 in 77 minutes. That's amazing. $960 in 39 minutes. $1,140 in 33 minutes. Altogether, that would have been a beautiful $9,000 in profit from just one day of trading, which would have been enough to cover your Alpha Zone Pro membership nearly 5 times. Do not miss this opportunity. Prices are going to go. As a matter of fact, I don't know what they are now. Josiah didn't tell me, but I'm assuming you could see it on the page. Founding members, $19.95. I'm assuming the prices hasn't changed, although we sold out, so that's a little weird. But I guess we did sell out all $2.99, but they're still selling it, so it's still okay. Go to rogerscott.com/zone or call or call 904-706-3539. Bonus round.
Roger, just so you know, hate to interrupt you, but we have released a brand new 299 spots, but it's only $100 extra. So everyone that got in on those first 299, they're honored at that $19.95 founding membership price. But guys, we sold out spots literally within 4 minutes. So we have raised that price. Another 299 spots are now open, and you will all see that reflected on the order form at rogerscott.com/zone.
Yeah, because we obviously didn't know there was going to be 1,200 people on, Raj, so we had to legally, abide by the initial $299.
I understand.
But instead of doubling the price, we only made it $100 more, to still basically half off.
I think folks will pay $100 more. I think it's worth it. Thank you. Okay, so it's only $100 more, folks. So I hate to say I told you so. Not only will you immediately save $1,900 and get a free lifetime upgrade, but I'm going to add a little icing on the cake. It's not going to be $39.95, but it's not going to be $19.95. It's going to be $100 more. So it's not double. It's only $100 more. My personal market internal dashboard. This is really cool. And by the way, folks, this will be available in the next few days for TradingView. Brian just had a couple of family things come up. He's going to finish it this week. We got an update from him. So if you're in Canada, if you're somewhere in the world and you can't use Thinkorswim, TradingView, baby, TradingView, full compatibility with TradingView. The market internal will give you the vol, the ad, the tick, giving us real-time pulse on the market, all in one shot. The volt helps us confirm when the market move has real strength behind it. The ad keeps us from getting blindsided by weak participation, helps us avoid false breakout and breakdowns. And the tick gives us real insight into buying and selling pressure in real time. Now, I could easily sell this for $995. I'm not going to do that. It's very valuable. I use it. I have a full screen dedicated to it. Right here, I'll show you. Right here. All I do is look at it all day long. One of my 10 monitors has that fully on there at all times. If you're one of the members, you're not going to pay anything. It's going to be included for free. So I'm going to include it for free. But I'm giving you lifetime access. Lifetime access. Only founding members of the Alpha Zone Pro will get access to the Market Internals dashboard. Consider it my way of saying thank you. And remember, it's going to be TradingView friendly. So if you're in Canada, China, Japan, Australia, and you can't use Thinkorswim, you could use TradingView. And you can also route most of your brokerages through TradingView too. It'll take 10 seconds to install, whether you use Thinkorswim or TradingView. Of course, I'll show you how to use it in a 7-hour masterclass. Yes, a 7-hour masterclass. Not because it's so complicated. I just love to teach. Half of it will be reviewing, answering. We're going real slow, folks. We're going real slow. I want everybody to understand everything. It'll be recorded. If I have to repeat it, I'll do it again. But we're doing these things really nice and slow and easy, okay? So if you want to claim the special bonus, then you need to sign up now. Click the link in the chat or give us a call. Founding membership 1995. My goal with the Alpha Zone Pro and the Trading Zone Live is to help you become a skilled sniper, a skilled trader. I want to give you all the tools and insight that you need to help you go after your financial goals. And many of the beta testers are already seeing the results. What do they say? I've made enough money in the first 2 days to pay for Alpha Zone Pro, Jeremy. I like that. So far, Alpha Zone Pro gives me chills on accuracy. I've had 3 winners so far. No, actually, he's had 5 or 6 winners so far. Liberty, I've made 56%, 25%, 17, 5, 49, all on my own trades using the Alpha Zone Pro. This is Martin. He's an attorney from Brooklyn, I believe. These SPY trades are based off of your direction in the zone. And notice something. SPY. He's taking a lot of my trades. Look at this guy. Made $1,600 yesterday. 92% win rate, profit factor of 74, 100% win rate with the Alpha Zone Pro, 7 for 7 with sizable profits.
Roger, Ben just said he was 2 for 2 during the webinar.
That's what I'm saying. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Perfect. Roger, Kevin says I made 100% profit on the SPY 0DT. I bought it at 75 cents. So how much did it cost here? He bought it for 75 cents. That's $75. Can you afford $75? And he got out at $150 just a few minutes later. Roddy, I made 15% on a good number of contracts. Sign me up, coach. D0DT SPY trades are an ATM. Keep them coming, please. Oh, I've been keeping them coming, all right. AlphaZone is a rush. Thanks for bringing it to us, Jesse. $1,300. Thanks for the SPY 0DT trades. I took 3 of them, 10 contracts each, took profit of $1,300. That's double my daily goal. Love it. I made $175 in an hour. AlphaZone Pro makes trading the SPYs easy as crossing the street on a clear sunny day. That's right, Eagle Beagle. I've learned a lot in 2 short months, thanks to you. On the SPY, 3 SPY 0DT trades I took yesterday, I'm up $1,650. Adam, I'm enjoying AlphaZone Pro so much, I am winning over and over and over again. Richard, Roger, you're on a tear. Richard's loving this. He's having so much fun with this. Richard, if you're here, let us know. Let us know how it's going. But Richard's happy. It's all thanks to the brand new AlphaZone Pro. And for the first time, I'm literally handing over the keys to you. Folks, AlphaZone Pro, founding membership price, $19.95. $19.95. And don't go anywhere. I've got some cool stuff to talk to you about. Now, really quick, before I open the chat, I want to answer a few common questions. Is it only for Thinkorswim? No. I got sick of everyone telling me that they can't use ProTrader dashboard with TradingView, so I made sure that the TradingView version is going to be 100% compatible. It's almost done. It'll take another day or two. Brian had some personal stuff come in. Another day or two, I guarantee you 100% compatibility. And then we'll start working on the TradeStation version. But first, we have to finish the TradingView. 100% compatibility with TradingView. I repeat again, Thinkorswim and 100% compatibility with TradingView, which means all of you can use it from anywhere in the world with no excuses, okay? 10-second install. So I don't want to hear, I don't have the platform. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Completely compatible with TradingView. If I'm a beginner, is it good for you? Yes, it's going to give you a clear structure. You know, up arrow. The biggest problem that folks don't have is structure. What do you think these lines are? 3 on top. They're structure. I've given you a market structure. So you could trade within that structure. It's much easier when you have a structure. It's like a roadmap. And I'm going to be there every step of the way to help you get everything up and running. Can I trade 0DT in my regular brokerage account? Yes. Yes, you can. You could trade them in any brokerage account. Now, Fidelity is a little wanky with 0DT. They like 1DT, but I'll be honest with you, about 80% of the stocks of the options we trade are 1DT. I personally don't like 0DT. I like 1DT. Matt likes 0DT. But anyway, you could trade him in any brokerage account. He's coming around. He said he's coming around. He's coming around. But anyway, 1DT, 0DT, it's not a big deal. So if you can't do the 0DT, you just do 1DT. It's the same thing. Are you only buying calls and puts? Yes. We're not doing spreads. There's no spreads. There's no butterflies. There's no iron condors. There's no shorts. I mean, you know, short, long. It's just buying a call or buying a put. I honestly can't make it any more straightforward than that, okay? How much is the average trade? Between $100 and $300. And remember, you're holding it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're getting the strike price, the expiration date, everything you need. It'll say 1DT or 0DT, which means that it's expiring today or tomorrow. So it can't get any more complicated than that. I mean, simpler than that. Do you need $25,000? Well, I'm going to talk about that right now. Okay, so you have a couple of choices here. You have a couple of choices, and I really want you to listen and listen good, okay? This platform you could trade with, because the options are very cheap. You can take $1,000, open it in Robinhood, $1,000 in E-Trade, $1,000 in Tastyworks. As long as you have 4 cash accounts, you're good to go. You're good to go. Let's say you don't want to do all that. You don't have to. You don't have to. You could trade E-mini and E-micro futures. They have no day trading restrictions. I'm going to say it again. E-minis and micro E-minis have no day trading restrictions. The margin for the E-mini is $500 for day trading. The margin for the micro E-mini is $50. Roger, I don't have a big account. I can't do this. Yeah, you can with $50. $50. $50. $5 a point. So if the SPY goes from 500 to 510, that's $50. E-mini, $50 a point. That's $500. So every tick, every point on the SPY is $50 or $5. And you could trade them with 75% of all stock brokerages or a separate futures brokerage, which I can hook you up with very easily if you ask. And I've already talked to customer service and given them all that information. So do you need to have Thinkorswim to use this? No. Do you need to have a $25,000 account to do this? No. I don't want to hear any monkey business from you about $25,000 accounts and about not having access to trades to Thinkorswim. Capiche? I don't want to hear any of that from you. What if you have questions about how to set it up? Well, if you have a question, we have a full customer support team ready, standing by, ready to go. I'm going to repeat again because I know I'm going to get 50 questions asking me this. Can I really trade this with $50 or $500 or multiple cash accounts? Yes, you can. You can even do it in Thinkorswim. You don't have to open a new account. E-Trade, Robinhood, Tastyworks, TradeStation, Interactive Broker, Thinker, they all have E-minis. And there's no day trading requirements. I made this platform for the ground up for E-minis if you want to. If for some reason you can't get this thing to work, call our team within 7 days. And if you can't get it to work, we'll give you your money back. I'll literally allow you to talk to my assistant to help you set it up if it doesn't work. Just email me, all right? If you can't get any answers. How many trades can I expect a day? Between 1 and 3 trades. We've given 5 trades in the last 2 days. We haven't done anything today because of the Fed, obviously. So some days there'll be no trades. Just like in the pit, sometimes there's no trades and sometimes there's 3 trades. It depends on the day. Our goal is 1 to 3 trades per day on average. In the last 2 days, we've given 5 trades. How will you receive alerts? Telegram, and Telegram. And there's not going to be anything else other than Telegram. By the way, how are we doing with sales? Do we have any more left, Josiah and Nate, on with this new order form?
I don't know if Josiah has an active number, but obviously not a lot. This has truly been one of the most insane response we've ever seen. Our whole team is panicking in the background, trying to update order forms and get things right so that we don't blow through our limits and get in trouble legally by putting a cap on and then not being able to enforce it. Now, I assume that we have a little bit left on that second deal, but Josiah can give you the actual numbers. But the one thing I want to say, Roger, is it is insane to have a webinar where you're talking about a tool where people during the webinar are chatting in saying, hey, by the way, I'm making money trading using the tool right now while you're talking about it. So this has been a lot of fun. We apologize, just formally apologize. We thought the cap that we put in place would be fine to get us through today. We didn't realize we'd have 1,200 people on and all that kind of stuff. So I do formally apologize for that, but that's why we try to make it $100 more, not a big deal for people to still get in so that you still have time. So hopefully everyone who wanted in is able to get in and still trickling in right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
absolutely.
Thanks.
We do have 299 spots that we already have tons flying off the shelf at this new special price that we did have to put together. But the good news is there's 800 people still in this room. So if you guys are sitting on the fence, you're ready to get started with AlphaZone Pro, I would highly recommend grabbing the new special price. You're still going to save a massive discount, even close to $2,000, like the first 299 people. But yeah, definitely get in, especially before today, because this room is packed full and we're going to have a lot of people signing up.
A lot of people signing up, and wait till I take questions. And by the way, the last several days, we've been just getting like amazing feedback, like so much customers, like just like this. I mean, hey, I made money. Look at this. 10:03 in at $238 to get in. Take profit. 4 minutes later, filled at $3. Look at that. That's a nice gain right there. And it didn't cost you all that much. Entry criteria, 0 DT. That means expiring today. Strike price right here. Call. No ambiguities. The fill price within a minute. Everything is right there. The fill price, the exit alert, the exact price I closed out the trade. And we're actually taking these trades. Do I need to own AlphaZone to access the all-new Trading Zone channel? Yes, it's a critical tool to help you succeed in the markets and validate your trades. Trading without it is like shooting yourself in the foot because you'll be able to see how we do it. How is AlphaZone Pro different than Pro Trader Dashboard? Pro Trader Dashboard helps me compare individual stocks to the spider to see relative strengths so that I could trade the stocks and the stock options. This is for the index itself. This is for the spider. This is not to gauge stocks. So in Pro Trader Dashboard, I'm trading stocks. Here I'm trading the index. So just so you understand. And we're not limited to the SPY. We will trade the SPY. Sometimes we'll trade the QQQ, and sometimes we'll trade the Russell, just depending on where the meat is. All right. Can you recap everything you'll get today? Yeah, this 91 is hasta la vista. Yeah, you'll get the all-in-one trading platform that includes both the momentum and the VWAP trading system. You'll get my internal dashboard, which is very cool. And more importantly, I'm going to teach you how to use it, okay? You're going to get a daily live masterclass, bringing all your questions. I'll answer them, and we're having them daily every day. And if I have to schedule another week, I'll do it. I don't really care because I love teaching, and this is a really cool topic. So if I could teach you guys how to use it and spend like 10 hours with you or 7 hours with you, I'll gladly do that. And we're going real slow, and I'm reviewing everything for half an hour, what we did the previous day. I'm taking it for all it's worth because I love teaching. I truly do, and most people know that. So I'm going to teach you not just how to use this platform. I'm going to teach you how professionals day trade. Now, folks, you know what you would usually pay for that? About $5,000. You know what I'm going to charge you for that? $0. It comes with this, okay? So that comes with it. Customer support comes with it. The masterclass sessions, the $2,000 or the $1,900 now discount, and the free upgrade to lifetime. Customer support live. If you want to know how to install it, I think there's some Fed news out because I see a big up candle in the SPY, which is really irrelevant to us right now. But customer support live, they will answer any questions, help you install. Some of the girls are actually, and gentlemen are, look like this, and they'll help you every step of the way. They'll help you get everything straightened out and help you be set up. They also have sessions, Cam, Gustavo, Chip, very, 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 very useful. Let's take some live questions. That's what I want to do. I want to take some live questions. Let's see, who do we got here?
Hey there, Roger.
Hey,
terrific presentation, buddy. I have been working my fingers to the bone, answering as many questions as I could, but there are several that came up that I thought were pretty interesting. One big question is a bunch of people want to know, can they trade the SPX with this?
And I've mentioned this about 50 times. Absolutely. The only thing, they will not be able to put ticker SPX into the platform because SPX doesn't have volume, and we use volume to extrapolate price. So they will have to suck it up and use SPY, and then they could trade SPX all they want just by adding a decimal and a 0 to their price.
Okay, I got you there. Because some people are basically saying, hey, because I don't know, in particularly with Fidelity, I got a long message from a guy at Fidelity going like, holy smoke, Roger, if I don't trade SPX, I got to have $1 million.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. The reason he's doing it is because Fidelity's really tough with 0 DTE. We almost trade no 0 DTE. We're almost trading all 1 DTE, and 1 DTE does not have that problem.
Perfect.
So A, you're not going to have a problem with Fidelity. B, you could do SPX all you want. It's just use the SPX in there. But yeah, you could, no problem at all.
Excellent.
At all. And you could do decimal and 0. Yes, Annette. Thank you. And you could do E-minis or micro E-minis too. It's built from the ground up.
See,
for
that
them.
Was the next question that really got people's attention was the ability to use it to trade futures.
Yes, and I know that was, so I prepped you guys. I remember last week I had a customer service session, and I prepped customer service because I knew that was going to be the biggest question. When I launched the Pro Trader dashboard, the biggest questions was, can I use this on TradingView in Canada, and can I use this with a small account? So I figured that was going to be a big problem. So I made this from the ground up, 0 DT means same day expiration. They expired that night. Ron, we usually do 1 day expiration, so they expire in 24 hours. And by the way, you can always replace our 0 DT with a 1 DT if we do them, but we usually do 1 DT. I get nervous with 0 DT. I like 1 DT better. So anyway, let me continue this. So how do you access E-minis? Don, 75% of stockbrokers have E-minis. TradeStation, Interactive Broker, Thinkorswim, Tasty Trades, E-Trades, even Robinhood, I think.
This is futures day trading here. This is not, you're not talking about options on futures.
No,
futures.
Futures. And so, did you know what the day trading margin on micro mini right now is, Raleigh?
It's about $50. $50.
On
the micros,
Yeah. So I don't want to hear anybody giving me I don't have a $25,000 account, therefore I can't use this. Nope. $50. You want to trade minis instead of micros? $500.
Yep.
That's through AMP Futures, Ninja. If you don't know through who, I'll give you the names. The margin from Thinkorswim for E-minis is $1,100. Not a big deal. Not $25,000. Yes, Ninja Trader. Yes, Roxy. Yes. not the platform. You could execute through NinjaTrader. You
Yeah,
have to
and
use
that's the key
TradingView.
thing.
But
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Roxy, guess what? You know how I said it's TradingView compatible? Well, guess what? You can hook up your NinjaTrader through TradingView. Did you know that? Did you know that? You could now integrate TradingView with TradeStation, with Interactive Yeah, they have an app where you can so there's I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody here. You don't need to have a $25,000 account. You can have a $50 account and you can get it done. And you don't need to have trading. You don't need to be in America. You don't need to be a Thinkorswim. You could be using TradingView. It'll be ready in 2 days, a day and a half or 2 days. So what's the margin?
So Roger,
fee
is it fair?
Sorry,
is it fair to say, Roger, that this is basically a universal day trading platform?
Yeah, I made this from the only reason why I didn't market it as an e-mini platform is because of CFTC and NFA. It's the only reason.
Oh yeah, I got you.
That's the only reason. So this is made from the ground up. If you wanted to trade e-minis, God bless you. You got it. And I know Richard does it. I know several people have done it already. Yeah, Linda, it's made from the ground up for Thinkorswim. But you see, Linda, here's the problem. If I tell you it's made for Thinkorswim, you're going to ask me, but what about TradeStation? And if I say TradeStation, you're going to. So I made it. So I did it really. Richard says I'm doing it right now. Judy, it has an automatic cloud that will set the profit target and stop loss for you. It'll light up a cloud, and the cloud will highlight the profit target and stop loss level. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Automatically for you. Tell me how cool that is, huh?
That's fantastic.
Do you know the pricing? TradingView is like $20 a month, Phil. At the time you get the signal, at the moment you get the entry, it'll highlight it for you. And and tomorrow I'll be explaining to you what they are in the members area. Yeah, so it's really cool. You get an arrow and the arrow will give you a highlight. So the moment you get the highlight, you get the exit and profit target and stop loss. All there completely automatically. Mike says Ninja charges you to turn on using TradingView. Maybe we can build it for maybe. Mike, I'm 99% sure I could make it for TradingView, but it'll take a couple of weeks or a month. I'm eventually going to try to make it for every platform. Win rate has been over 70% and profit factor has been over 2. And wow. And by the way, folks, I don't know, Brawley, I haven't been here. I was actually doing the class, but has anybody given us how happy they've been with the numbers? By the way,
oh my
Linda,
gosh. Roger, I mean, that was the biggest responsibility I had was posting, what people had to say, including several people that are making money during the webinar.
I love that. So yeah, the win. Yeah, folks have been making money hand over fist. So for some of you who don't know this, we gave them for free. We gave the signals for free in the pit for the last 2 months, and people are very, 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 very happy. Like really happy. 5-minute time frame. Margin fee for 1DT. There's no margin for 1DT. You just buy the option. You mean for the futures or the option? Two different things. Nathan said, I made money on the webinar as well.
Yeah.
The option, there's no margin for option, Ron. The average option is $200-$300. Here, let me just repost that. Very cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Ooh, John. Look at John. Show off. Look at what John's doing with the futures this morning.
Yeah. Outstanding.
See, it says M. M is a micro. If it said ES, it would just be an E mini. But M and Q is a micro NASDAQ, and MES is a micro E mini S&P. So he's using micro, and look how he's doing.
Yeah.
That IB futures options. Thank you. IB futures options. Thank you.
So Roger, hold
on. There's no assignment, Ron. There's no assignment. We only go long. There's no assignment. It's humanly impossible for assignments. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, Roger, one of the key things is your masterclass, because I know that's really where you get to roll your sleeves up and get into the program and answer so many of the questions that are popping up here, explaining how to use this. And you said you've got some classes that are scheduled this week, right?
I've already given 3, and I'm going to give 2 or 3 more, and I'm going to go over them, extend them. What I did was this. I figured, I don't want to give myself a start and an end date. I don't want to limit myself because, you know why? Because I love to teach.
Yeah, you do.
Why not do what I love to do, right? So I just said I'm going to do it. I'm going to block out from 10:30 till 11:30 every day till I'm done. And I have no agenda. I don't have like an end date. If I want to do it for the next 5 days, I'll do it for the next 5 days. So probably another 3 hours. We've already given 3 hours. Probably need another 3-4 hours.
So for people that are signing
slow.
up right now, there's great educational, components right there that they can take advantage of. Many people's questions will all be asked there. Now, Roger, the other thing is this, because there's a twist here, and you talked about the fact that you're also made a very special offer for the Trading Zone Live. Now, how do the Trade Zone Live, help people understand what that is versus the Alpha Zone platform that you have?
The Alpha Zone Pro is the platform. The Trading Zone is a signal service. So Matt and I I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we actually do trade. We actually do trade. And so we figure while we're trading for our own account, we might as well trade for you guys. So a lot of times we give you trades. And the last 2 days we gave 5 trades. As Matt is training them for me. So I'm actually, the masterclass is recorded. And futures are easier. The E-mini and micro is easier to trade than stocks because because you don't have strike prices. There's no strike prices. You just change the expiration date 4 times a year. That's it. So you're trading the same ticker symbol, just a different month 4 times a year. That's it. It's super simple. Super, super simple. Like super, super simple. Remember, I started out as a futures broker. If I can't teach you how to do it, no one can. My first 7 years in the business, I was a futures broker. So yes, the master classes are recorded. What about the ROC comparing E-mini and return on investment? I haven't done it yet, but you're going to get great leverage. Remember, you're going to get better tax on the futures because futures are taxed 60-40. Not 100%. So you get better margin treatment. The leverage, you get a lot of leverage with margin with you get pretty much the same kind of leverage with E-minis as you do. Think about this. $500, okay, is your margin for E-mini. Each point is $50. So let's say you capture 5 points. You just made 50% on your margin.
Yep.
Nobody complains. Nobody's ever said to me E-mini margin is not good.
No, it's great. And it's, as you know, Roger, I mean, the caveat here, this is a highly leveraged when you're in the futures. So you really have to pay attention to your stop losses and your profit targets and things of that nature because the pace at which the market moves.
The new Trading Zone Live is alert service. The Alpha Zone Pro is a dashboard so you can generate alerts for yourself. But the Trading Zone is an alert service where Matt and I'll show you.
Now, Roger, in the Trading Zone Live, are you focused primarily on trading options on the SPY, or are you looking also at E-minis and things of that nature?
No, we're trading. Available? No, we're trading E-minis. I probably will start giving. I just want people to get into it, and I'll probably start giving E-minis too. But basically, what I tell them is, when we give you a trade on the option to go long, just buy the E-mini. And when we tell you to get out of the trade, just get out of the E-mini. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. You know that the correlation between the SPY and the E-mini S&P is about 99.99999%. Yeah. So when I tell them they mirror, they key off of each other. So when I tell you to buy an option on the SPY, just buy the E-mini. And by the way, the E-minis have no decay. You don't have to buy the options. You just buy the futures. So so if I'm holding an option for an hour, it may decay a little bit. The futures won't decay.
They don't at all.
So yeah. So no commentary, Alpha Zone. There's no commentary, but there's plenty of commentary on the Trading Zone Live. The Alpha Zone Pro is a tool. It's a dashboard. It's a dashboard for you to have on your screen to give you signals. If you just want the alerts and commentary, the Trading Zone is for you. So just wanted to make sure you understand the difference in between them. Okay. So just wanted to make sure you guys understand the difference. I believe there's a 7-day refund. Is that correct, Raleigh?
Yes, that is. Yeah.
You're not being difficult.
For the Alpha Zone, once again, from that standpoint, from the time that you get it, you have 7 days, to get it up. If you have any issues getting it installed, call us. We'll do everything to get it up and running for you. And if for whatever reason you're just like, you have 7 days.
Good.
And it's 14 days on the Trading Zone Live.
Got it. Yeah. You ain't going to be seeing a lot of refunds there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no.
Five signals, 5 winners. Can I
Look at
get the
this.
alerts without Greg? You got to call 904-706-3539.
I
You
got
got
to
to talk.
post what Kathy just put in here. I mean, this is incredible. Roger, she says, I just signed up and made $420 in 8 minutes.
I love that. Love that.
I mean,
Love
this is
that.
real time, guys. We're not making, I'm
Yeah.
just posting what people are putting in the chat.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Love that. Vivek, if I want to trade E-minis, but your service calls on the trade on SPY, how would I do it? You would just execute. If I say go long on SPY, you just go long E-mini. And then when I sell get out of it, you get out of E-mini. You don't have to worry about strike price.
You can enter at market.
Yeah, just enter market. There's no, just boom. I go long SPY, strike price. No, just boom, long E-mini. That's it.
Yep.
Doesn't really get easier. Vivek, please do not hesitate. I have closed 6 SPY trades, 5 winners, and number 7 now. Alpha Zone Pro is incredible. I love it. Here, I'm going to repost that. Thank you, Eagle Beagle. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Is this scanner good to use on stocks? No. If you want stocks, Pro Trader Dashboard. Pro Trader Dashboard's your best friend. This is for indexes. Do I need to have the Alpha Zone or can I buy the trading zone alone? I don't know, guys. That's a question for customer service. The replay will be done will be on pretty soon. But yes, you would need to call customer service and they will tell you. They will tell you ASAP. So again, folks, Linda says I have a Webull margin and cash account. Do I need to call and get a mini account? I don't know if Webull has them. I believe, to the best knowledge, they do. If they do, just say, hey, I need you to flip on E-minis. E-mini S&P and E-mini NASDAQ. That's it. Just those two. How do I know when to exit? You'll know when to exit. I'm going to show you how to exit. I'm going to show you how to use the momentum to exit. And if you get the trading alert service, we will tell you when to exit. Yeah. And folks, this Liberty says, boom, 2 for 2 during presentation.
I'll repost that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Webull does have futures. Yeah, just call them and tell them to turn on. Folks, the reason all these stock brokerage firms are having futures is because a lot of people don't want to trade with $25,000 and they don't want to deal with all this stuff. And
they
still
want to day trade. Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to day trade. So I created a platform from the ground up to be able to do that, literally from the ground up. This is completely kosher with E-minis. So if you trade E-minis, this is for you. This is for you. We made trading minis here all the time. So it's like you could do E-minis, you could do S&P, you could do all of that. David says 1.5 trades today had DR approved, so not in a day trade. Nice. How? Had doctor appointments, so not in all trades. There you go. I'm going to call Webull now to be ready. There you go, Linda. Your program made me $2,175 today alone with this last trade. Well, Richard, I'm going to repost that.
I got it,
folks,
buddy. Yep.
Oh, thank you. We both did it. Folks, it's one thing when Uncle Roger tells you nice things and, patting myself on the back is nice. But it's really nice when Kathy says, I'm in current trade and I'm up $600 and it's still flying. I'm going to repost that. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. How much is the trading zone alerts? There, I think Raleigh
I've
just
posted it there. So folks, when you sign up for the Alpha Zone platform and the VIP lifetime price is $2,095. Okay. When you sign up for that, another page is going to come up and say, hey, you can get Trading Zone Live. 1 year is $14.95. If you would like to have lifetime, it's an additional $995. So for $24.90, you could have it for lifetime. And all that happens, after you sign up for the Alpha Zone platform and you get that. So, and I posted that in the chat. We'll cover that. Make sure you guys got that.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you don't need a cash account. If you need going cash accounts, multiple cash accounts is if you want to avoid the 25K and you don't want to trade futures. If you want to trade futures, you can have $500 in there and you could trade 10 micro E-minis for the day. So yeah, it's not a problem whatsoever.
And that's a great point, Roger. The micro E-minis has made, if you will, day trading affordable for a lot more people, and once again, we're not basically saying, guys, you still have to know what you're doing. But as Roger said, with the micro E-minis with a $50 margin, with a small account, you can get your toe wet in the water, and that's the thing that's so cool about that. Build your strategy, build your results, take advantage of everything that's happening here, and then you can move up.
Exactly. And Richard just closed another one. Yeah. So folks, people are making money You see, my whole thing is trying to solve your problems. And I realize a lot of people want to day trade, but don't want to do it with 25K. And a lot of people don't want to do stock options. So I said, Dana says commissions are high on futures. Commissions are zero. You could find, by the way, if you go to, let me just say this, Dano, if you go to Ninja Trader, or if you go to AMP Futures, it's like 60 cents a side.
Or Infinity Futures.
Infinity Futures. Yeah, it's like 50 cents a side. So here's what I would suggest you guys do.
Don't sweat commissions. You guys make money.
Right. That's what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, look, most of you have a Thinkorswim account. You could trade futures there. Dip your toe in the water. It's like 1,200 margin, and they're a little expensive on the commission. See if you like the futures. Then go and open up an account for $500 or $1,000 at AMP Futures and go crazy. See what I'm saying? And you can integrate TradingView with that. That's another reason why I wanted to make sure it's TradingView friendly, because 95% of platforms for futures integrate with TradingView. A lot of futures traders use TradingView. So you have no excuse. What are some micro E-minis? NASDAQ, S&P, Russell. Those are the only ones I really care about, Thomas.
Yeah, Dow. You could even trade currencies if you
you could. You could trade currencies. You could trade Dow. Although I wouldn't do
oil.
Yeah, you could.
Crude.
Crude, gold, silver.
Pork
you could
bellies.
do all of that.
Man, we're in the commodity world here.
I wouldn't do that with this platform. I would only stick with.
I agree.
Yeah. I would stick with equity.
Like
Yeah. I would stick with equity futures. DJ just said, DJ Dave, I just made $146 on SPY while you were talking. I love it. There we go. I have another program that I'm trading now. Is this product available if I want to get it in the future? Yes, Ron, but you're going to have to pay more money. The demand for this is like really, really, really high. Like really, really high. So my suggestion is get it during the sale, or you're going to end up paying more. When I launched a program like this for stocks, I said I was going to keep raising it, and we've been raising it. What about speed of trading? Is it high-speed video came where it's possible to get in on time? Dano, it's Telegram. It's instant. There's nobody complaining about time. It's instant. You get an alert instantly. Yeah. Just sit there with an E-mini or an options, add the money strike price, and boom, press the button when it's ready. Fishing with a hand grenade. Okay, John.
Okay. Hey, Roger, I was going over my notes here. One question that several people asked, they were saying, is it your recommendation that people wait after the open of the market for like a half hour or an hour before they basically take a look at the trades?
Our the Alpha Zone Pro will not even print the lines till 1 hour after the market opens.
Okay, there you go. So we're letting all that noise and that chop and all that crap at the beginning of the open. We're not messing with that.
No. You want the market to set its tone. You want to see what the market structure is. Very, very, very important. If you don't see market structure, and I teach all this at great lengths in the class. We will go through all of this, but you need to have a specific structure to the market in order to see what to do, and that structure doesn't get developed for the first hour. About half an hour, but I like to give it an extra hour, especially if I'm going to be picking highs and lows. Definitely, if I want to be picking highs and lows. I'm just drawing some folks. I'm about to post this in the channel. But anyway, point is, folks, this is the real deal. It works amazingly well. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I'm going to tell you, I've made it easy. Stan, the class is at 10:30 in the morning every day this week, and there's already 3 sessions in the members area, and I'm going to keep doing it. Why low win rate? You think 73, 74% is a low win rate, Linda? Really? Day trading?
And a profit factor over 2? I think somebody's
Linda, I've spoiled you. Linda, I've spoiled you. I'll tell you what, Linda, go check out some other folks' profit factor and my win rate and check it out and let me see what you think. So it's the 10:30 Eastern time. Yes. Eastern time. Yes. Is Alpha Pro purchasing the trade platform or is the alert service? That's the platform. The alert service is the trading zone. Okay. Raphael says currently has 2 Telegram. Hold on a second. 2 Telegram rooms. Will these trades be available? No, it's got its own Telegram room called the Trading Zone. Raphael, now I have 3 Telegram channels. Considering the time frame, Linda, not the same as Kane's 6 profit factor because it takes weeks or more to play. Do you use stop losses? No, I don't use stop losses. We're not in trade long enough to use stop losses. Never use stop losses. Use your eyes and price levels. Do you use? No, I don't use stop. Looking at the Alpha Zone Pro, not what is likely move to the down. Now, what is the likely move to the downside? Whatever the lines say, those are the likely moves. There's the likely move, probable move, and max moves. For new traders, if I had to choose between trading zone and Alpha Zone, which one is it? Andre, are you looking to learn how to trade or get alerts? One is to get alerts. One is to trade yourself. So it's like, do you want to cook or do you want someone to serve you dinner? Doug on the spot, yes. Do you have to pay extra to get alerts? Yes, alerts are completely different. Alerts are different. Which one to pick? That's something you have to decide. Do you have to pay extra to get the alert? Yes. I missed over 2, profit factor over 2. Finally, my order got done. Good, Phil. Andrea, okay, thanks. Yes. Folks, there's not that many people out there that do what I do better than me. Raleigh, how many years have you been around?
Well, I mean, I've known you for 13 plus years at this
Do you know
time.
many traders out there that do better than me in this planet that we live on?
No, I have to say, obviously I'm a little bit biased because I've spent so much time with you, but I've worked with an awful lot of people, and I can say this honestly, Roger, without trying to embarrass you in any way, shape, or form. But number one, you always over deliver on any commitment that you make. Number two, you're always enthusiastic about what you do because this is something that you absolutely enjoy and live for. And number three, you have absolute dedication to your customers. And those things, and without that, there's no Roger. That is basically the core of what you do. And I guess the fourth thing is you're a huge proponent of education, making sure that people understand what they're doing. So even in an alert service, for example, Roger, you take pains to make sure that people understand what it is you're giving them and how to take advantage of it.
That's right.
And I think that's core.
Very, very important to me. Very, very important. All right. So you could do this in your IRA account. There's no IRA, and you could do futures in your IRA account too, which I think is kind of ironic. But yeah, you could do futures in your IRA account too. We're basically buying options with 1-day expiration and holding them for 15, 20 minutes, sometimes an hour. Your only flaw is you're too sensitive. All right, Mike. Thank you. Not when it comes to the market. Wild Ranger, I've been with you a lot of services. I've never found anyone who comes close to the level of value that you do. Thank you, Wild Ranger. Wow, that's very nice. I'm going to repost that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys are fantastic. I want to thank you all for being here. Raleigh, thank you for hosting me. I've seen and experienced some of the better services, and they do not adapt quickly enough to the market conditions. Roger's free stuff alone proves he is better. Oh, thank you. Wow. Very,
well, yeah, I need to add something to that comment, because one of the things I really like about your services, Roger, is they do stand the test of time. So, for example, today we led off with a roundtable discussion where unanimously you all said, look, guys, short-term trading is where it's at right now. I mean, to look at short-term swing trading or whatnot, there's too much risk there. And so we followed that up by you providing a tool which is just dynamite for short-term trading. But that doesn't mean that if this environment changes, this product isn't valid. It doesn't mean that other services that you and others have are invalidated by what's going on. You've just, Roger, created a whole new tool here so that people can take advantage of these short-term opportunities.
That's right. And I think right now, more than ever, these short-term opportunities are absolutely phenomenal. So I got to revolve as the market evolves. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I wanted to do something else. Another reason, just wanted to add to what you said. I've been telling people for years how I hate technical indicators because they're based on, they're not based on volume. They're based on what already happened. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this indicator, this whole thing has one technical indicator. One. A whole platform, one technical indicator. One technical indicator. All right? One. Just to show you how technical indicators is not where it's at, folks. Sentiment, momentum, that's where it's at, not technical indicators. But you will learn that. The indicator has not been wrong for me so far. 8 consecutive trades. Incredible, too, during the webinar broadcast. Adam, big difference between using traditional out-of-the-box indicators and this. There's no option flow indicator here. There's no option flow. I don't need any option flow here. No option flow. All right. Thank you again, folks. I appreciate all of you very, very much. If you have any questions, email me, roger@rogerscott.com. Could anyone inform me if your beginner could understand to learn? Oh, absolutely, Dale. I made it so easy that if you've been trading for 2 weeks, you can understand it.
Yeah.
Super, super easy. All right, guys. I got to get out of here. I got to see if I can find some trades for today, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Nathan, you wanted
Thanks,
to say
Roger.
something?
I just wanted to say thank you, and it's been a lot of fun. Also, I did want to say something about the win rate because I think people might be a little confused. I mean, I don't want to beat anyone over the head, but when you're talking about directional day, you're not talking about an income service where you want an 85% win rate. You're talking about directional trading where
day trading.
Anything over 50%, you're going to have a positive expectancy on. So a 70+% win rate, especially because of what the markets have done the last couple of weeks, I think is incredible. I do think, if you think 70% is a low win rate, maybe this is not the service for you, because this is active directional trading where really anything, 60%, you're going to absolutely kill it. So just a little bit of I think a shift there. Even if you go to the hedge fund guys, they'll say, hey, anyone who, swing trades at 55 or 60% going to be great. I don't know. I think maybe people are thinking it's like an income service or something that's supposed to win 85% of the time. This is fast action directional trading.
By the way, since we've been here, one entry with a profit and another entry with a profit. We've had two. Look at how it picked the high and look how it gave the entry. Here's the shadow right here, the highlight. That's your profit target right here. See the shadow? That's your profit target right there. That's your stop loss right there. The shadow appears, the cloud appears with the line. Pretty cool, right? Look at that. Boom and boom. Nice. Am I sharing my screen or no?
No, you're not. So let me stop.
I want to share my screen.
Roger, why don't you grab it back? I'm stopping.
Let me grab my screen.
Yeah.
Let me share my
screen. Demonstrate that, because I was sitting there going like,
look,
going
folks,
bada boom, and I'm going like,
look, folks, here's my likely move. The price starts coming down towards it. We get a green arrow. We get out right here. Here's the profit target. Then it goes up right towards the likely move to the upside. Gives us an arrow. We get the arrow. We take the trade, and we're out right here at a profit target. So since I've been talking, we've had a long trade and a short trade, and they both made money.
What ticker is that, Roger, that you're looking at?
That's SPY.
That's SPY?
That's the SPY. And you can put E-mini in here if you wanted to. But again, it's just show you, since we've been here live, one long and one short, both 100% winner. Folks, with that, I bid you farewell. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you so much. And folks, I'm going to hang around here for a few more minutes and answer any additional questions that you might have. But before I get going, I just want to let people know that this is a live presentation. And for any of you there that would like to have a link to a copy of this presentation, all you have to do for me is give me 3 things. Give me your name and your email address and say, send me the replay. And put that in the chat panel, and I'll make sure that we get that to you as soon as that link is available. So let me go ahead and put those instructions there. Secondly, what I've done is I put together a short summary over what Roger presented here. Now, this is primarily for people that came late, or if you would like to just have another refresher over exactly what was presented. Now, I've stripped out a lot of the marketing material and testimonials and things of that nature, and I'm going to cover the bare bones of the program here for you. And if you've got questions, put them in the chat panel, and when I'm done with my summary, I'll come back and I'll answer those questions for you, or at least all the questions that I can answer. So the focus today, first time ever available to the public, was AlphaZone Pro. Now, AlphaZone Pro is the only trading platform that we know of that's designed to target micro breakouts on the SPY, okay, on the SPY, and turn them into a shot at 50% or more in 60 minutes or less, multiple times a day. So if you don't get it by looking at this slide, this is a day trading platform and program that I'm going to be talking to you about. Now, you see, everything begins back on May 9th, 2023, and that's where a new type of daily option, which now makes up more than half the S&P 500's daily option for trading volume. This was introduced and made available at that point in time. Now, we've been able to turn these 0.5% micro moves on an underlying asset into gains of 50% or more in 60 minutes or less. And you're only going to find these explosive daily options on the major index funds like the Russell 2000, the Nasdaq 100, and the S&P 500, okay? They do not exist on individual stocks like Microsoft, Apple, or Google. So we're focused here on the indexes. And after 6 months of public beta testing and thousands of lines of code later, we've created what might be the most innovative day trading system for the SPY that's out there. It's called the Alpha Zone Pro. Now, it's a multi-dimensional trading platform that tells you when the SPY will likely break out, as we see here, or when the SPY might likely break down. Now, before that happens, okay, and without using any sort of traditional indicators at all. So we're talking about the fact that we see this before it actually happens. And we're not using RSI, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, trend lines, MACD, Fibonacci analysis, Elliott wave, or anything. Now, here's what has actually happened so far this week. So people have been asking, hey, can you tell us what's happened recently with this program? We're talking about this week. So the SPY, the first trade of the week here, we can see it here, okay? And in 25 minutes, we saw a 21% gain on it. That was on the 17th of March. Then we had the day trade number 2, okay? We saw a 34% gain in 53 minutes, also on the 17th. Day trade number 3, okay? 27% gain in 5 minutes. That was on the 18th of March. SPY trade number 4, day trade number 4, 13% in 1 hour. That was back on the 17th. And SPY day trade number 5, okay, 9% in 1 hour on the 17th. All told, folks, we already racked up 103% in total gains this week, and it's only Wednesday. Those were actual trades that were taken, and many of you in the room have already confirmed that you got every single one of those trades. So what do you get when you join the program? We're going to start with everything that you need to get started today, and it's all found in the Alpha Zone Pro Getting Started Guide. Here you're going to find a step-by-step video to get you up to speed in no time. And remember, there's no install needed. All you have to do is copy and paste a simple link, okay? And it literally takes about 10 seconds and a couple of clicks of the mouse. So you're going to click the link, you're going to put it in here. This example is on Thinkorswim. And boom, it comes up, and there you go. You have it. It's ready to rock and roll. Now, if you need any assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any questions that you might have. So you can call them and they'll work with you on any questions you have. But Roger's just not going to give you the platform and walk away. He's also going to train you on how to use it just like he does. Every day this week, he's hosting a live masterclass session where you can ask him any trading related questions that you might have on the program. And these are scheduled for 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So Eastern Time at 10:30. And if you're in the program, you're going to get emails, alerts, and things of that nature that the live masterclass sessions are going on. And if you miss them, don't worry. They are recorded and they're all going to be put in your members area. Now, some example of some of the things that Roger covers, because this is a very rich program. Matt and Roger will cover topics like how to take advantage of dynamic profit targets and stop losses for those of you that want even faster trades. And there were a lot of questions that came up here in the chat about setting your profit targets and your stop losses and how to take advantage of it. This is one example of something that will be covered in detail in the masterclass. And if you want more relaxed day trades, we've added a complete VWAP-based trading system with the Alpha Zone Pro. Okay, the white arrows use an entirely different entry criteria, and you'll do a deep dive during the masterclass on how to use that this week as well. It's a 2-for-1 package, and it's all part of the platform. Okay, that means that not only are you getting access to the most useful day trading platform that we've ever seen, but you're also going to get a coach who's going to show you how to get maximum use of it. Because one thing that's really stands out with Roger, he is huge on education and making sure you fully understand what you're doing and how to leverage the products and the services that he provides you with. Now, as it relates to pricing, our publisher is listing access to this platform for about $3,995 per year. So this is what the list retail price of this program is going to be once we're through this introductory phase. But because this is a special launch and this is an introductory phase, we've decided, or our publisher says, you know what, I'm going to knock $2,000 off that price. Actually, it's $1,900, and I'll explain that in a minute. But we're going to knock a couple thousand, for all intents and purposes, off the price. And instead of a $39.95 price, the first 299 people saw $19.95. Guys, we blew through that today. We just blew through that number. And the current price of the system is $2,095. So it's $100 more. So it's $2,095. Still very, very reasonable. But that's not all. This isn't the price for a year. Our publisher has basically said that special pricing is going to be good for lifetime. So guys, once again, $39.95, we knocked $2,000 off of it. And not only is that not per year, that's for lifetime. It's VIP. You have it for lifetime on the house. And as a special bonus for our founding members, we're also including Roger's personal market internals dashboard. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of this because he covers this in the masterclass, but essentially it gives him a real-time pulse on the market sentiment, momentum, and institutional order flow. It's so valuable that Roger uses it every day to confirm every trade before he enters it, and he's including that in the program. Normally, that's a $995 package, but it is going to be free as part of the program for those of you that are signing up now. And just like the AlphaZone Pro, it takes about less than 10 seconds to install, and he's going to show you how to use it in this week's masterclass. So very, very straightforward and easy to do. So once again, everything $19.95. The price currently now, guys, is $2,095. Why? Because the $19.95 was for the first 299 people. For the next 299 people, our publisher has set the price to $2,095, $100 more, and it is still unlimited lifetime access to the program. So now, after you secure your membership, and once you get your membership, don't exit the next page because there's another option we want to share with you. As one of the founding members, you'll have a chance to opt into the Trading Zone Live at over a 70% discount off the price. And here's how it works. Every single day, we'll use the AlphaZone Pro to find the best setups to target the SPY together. And when we see a SPY trade that looks too good to pass up, you're going to be the first to know because we're going to send you the exact option criteria plus fill prices straight to your cell phone. So there's absolutely no guesswork involved. And you can expect 1 to 3 of these high quality alerts each and every day, including the exact option criteria to buy, the fill price, once here's where Roger got filled, the exit alert, and the exact price that he closed out the trade. All of this is going to come to you in your Telegram feed. We're even going to provide real-time market analysis on the SPY as we see it, and this will also come to you in your Telegram feed. Now, on a typical day, Matt and Roger watch the markets for 8 hours straight, like a hawk. So you don't have to. They're both very, very active traders. So we're about, doing whatever we do during our days. Roger and Matt are focused on the markets, and when they see something that makes sense, they're going to get it out to you, and that's what they do. Now, this is a private channel that's only open to those people that have the AlphaZone Pro founding members now that sign up for the program. So this is a private Telegram channel only for you. And don't miss the opportunity. You'll get 70% off of it, and I'll cover that pricing in a minute. Now, once again, it kills me. I see this price. $2,095 is the current price for the program. And here are some frequently asked questions. Does this only work on Thinkorswim? Right now, that's the case. But we are literally days away from having it released on TradingView. Don't ask me how many days, but I get the sense certainly inside a week or so, it should be released and running on TradingView. And that means that, once again, you'll have that option, and particularly for our Canadian customers or other people that are comfortable with TradingView, you'll be able to run the program on that. We're also going to be working on TradeStation to have it there, and then we'll also start to look at some additional platforms down the road. But the focus was to get it out on Thinkorswim right now, TradingView in the next few days, and then after that, at some point in time, it will be on TradeStation. Can I trade zero dated options in my regular brokerage account? The answer is yes. Nearly all brokerage accounts offer zero dated options, and you can trade them just like any other regular option. Are you only trading basic calls or puts? Absolutely. These are directional trades, no complicated spreads, butterflies, or iron condors, just simple calls. So if it's a long signal, you'll be buying a call. If it's a short signal, you'll be buying a put. And once again, we think this is the most straightforward way to trade options. How much does the average trade cost? Well, trading the options, once again, is that trading zero dated options is that things are relatively inexpensive with most trades between $100 and $300. That means you can start with a small account and certainly scale up. Do I need a $25,000 account to do this? No. You can have multiple brokerage accounts set up if you want. So for example, if you set up a cash account in Robinhood, like $1,000 in Robinhood, $1,000 in E-Trade, and $1,000 in Tasty Trade, etc., you don't have to worry about any day trading limitations. You can trade 3 trades in each one of those accounts. That's 9 trades per week. So you can certainly do that. What if I have questions about how to set up the AlphaZone Pro? Well, we do have a US-based customer support team that you can call and you can schedule an appointment and they'll work with you on it. But, and if for whatever reason, if we can't get it taken care of within 7 days, if we can't make sure that you're satisfied, we'll be glad to give you a refund on your investment. So once again, but we're here to make sure, first of all, we've made it simple to install. We've got a lot of educational material there, but we do have a team of people there that are ready to help you. How many trades can you expect if I go with Trading Zone Live? Now, Trading Zone Live, that's the alert service, okay? In that particular case, you can expect about 1 to 3 trades per day, only looking to take advantage of the highest possibility trades. Some days are better than others. How will I receive alerts if I go with the Trading Zone Live? Everything there is going to come via the private Telegram service. If you have a problem with Telegram, this service isn't for you because there's no other way you're going to get these trades and this information. It's going to come via Telegram. And here's a screenshot of what the Trading Zone Live alerts look like. Once again, tells you basically what the strike price is, show you where Roger was filled. This is where he's saying, hey, take profits right now, and then he'll share where he was filled. All of that comes to you in that feed. Do I need to own the AlphaZone Pro to access the all-new Trading Zone Live Telegram channel? The answer is yes. It's a critical tool to help you succeed in the markets and validate your trades. So once again, you need to have the AlphaZone Pro, which is the platform itself, to access the new Trading Zone Live Telegram channel. It is, these are independent programs, folks. They each have their own pricing, and I'll cover that in a moment. You do not have to have the Trading Zone Live to take advantage of the AlphaZone Pro, but for those that wanted to basically have Roger personally curate 1 to 3 trades every day, and once again, these are day trades, and send them to you live via Telegram, that's what that service is for. So everything that you get today as a founding member, you get the AlphaZone Pro, that's the trading platform. You get the Market Internals dashboard. You get the live masterclass sessions. You get the US-based customer support. You get the instant $2,000 discount, and you get the free upgrade to lifetime access. So once again, when you go to rogerscott.com/zone and you click on that, this is what the new landing page looks like. AlphaZone Pro VIP for $2,095. That's the only option that is available to you at this point in time. And I also now want to go ahead and share with you the additional pricing that I was talking about. And I've just put this in the chat panel, folks. So let's review this together. You can see that the VIP lifetime price is $2,095. When you sign up to the program, there will be a page that says, hey, if you would like to go ahead and have access to having Roger's alert service, which is called Trading Zone Live, the 1-year price is $14.95. And once again, that's discounted 70%. And the lifetime cost is $24.90. So for $14.95, an additional $9.95 gives you the lifetime at $24.90. And there is a 14-day money-back guarantee if for whatever reason you're not satisfied with that service. So, all right. So let me see what else we have here. I think this comes this takes my summary to a conclusion. Now let me zip up through the chat panel here and see if I can answer some questions. My gosh, we have a ton of people that are looking for a replay to this presentation, and that is excellent. We're glad to do that. And once again, I just needed your name and your email address and copy of present. Yeah. So if you say something like copy of presentation, that's not going to work if I don't have your email address. So I do need your email address. Let me come down here. I'm on up. Okay. Replay. Okay, I want to see if there's some. No problem on the replay, guys. I got you covered there. Let's see. So Bill says, can it be used on TradeStation? Our plan is to have it available on TradeStation. I'm just not sure when, but I know that it's in the development queue. Right now, it's Thinkorswim. Next coming out within a week or so is my guess. My guess, guys. Don't hold me to that. But very shortly, we're rushing to get TradingView out. I know that our programmer is working on that actively right now. Once it's done and tested, that will be released, and then we will focus on TradeStation. Okay. So some people say I've signed up, but I don't have an email to sign into the system yet. That should be coming fairly soon. I know that a bunch of people are placing orders, and I know that our systems, or I think that our systems might be a little sluggish at this point in time, but don't worry, folks. We will take care of you. We will absolutely take care of you. And if you have any concern at all, call 904-706-3539. That's our sales department. Call them and say, hey, look, I'm in. I got the receipt. I haven't received we'll take care of you. But I think the systems are a little sluggish. You should be getting all of your onboarding information fairly shortly. Let me see. Requesting copy of the presentation. Okay, replay. So let me see. Right now, AlphaZone works in Thinkorswim, so I need an account with Schwab. So once again, since the AlphaZone only works for Thinkorswim at this point in time, you don't have to open up an account with Schwab. You can get free access to Thinkorswim. You can get that program, you get that platform, you can get free access to it and download it and use it. You do not have to open and fund an account with Schwab to go ahead and get that. Let's see. Wow. So Rick says, well, I should repost that. He says, for anybody who has any doubts about the program, I close out with $2,550 today, both to the upside and to the downside. Learn to use it, attend Roger's classes, and make money, just like me. Yeah, John says traders can also set up bracket orders, to protect against the flush. Absolutely. So you can enter the order, enter trades with one cancels the other. So you get into an entry price, you set a profit target, you set a stop loss. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So some people are asking, when is the recording going to be done? Quite honestly, as soon as I'm done here and I close the chat, we officially stop the recording, then our team will go and edit it and send it out. So it should be available sometime. What's it now? 2:52 Eastern, a little bit later this afternoon. Let's see. All right. So a lot of people are very, very happy looking at current SPY on Alpha Zone. What do you show us the likely move? Oh gosh, unfortunately, I don't have that platform loaded at this point in time, so I can't answer your question with that. Is Trading Zone live lifetime or will it renew? Well, if you get the Trading Zone live, there's an annual price for it and it will renew annually, or you can get the lifetime program, and you'll never pay another penny for the service beyond that. Is the live Telegram channel open now? It certainly should be. Once again, what time is it? 2:53. Yeah, I imagine Roger and Matt have things open and they watch the markets all the way to the close. If you're I think if you're a Diamond member, Thomas, I think you're covered by all of this. If you have any questions, you can contact Roger or call 904-706-3539. Okay, let's see here. I can trade the big picture, but this is impossible to trade the best into one. This is anyone. Yeah, I agree. All right. Okay, Mel, lifetime is free once again for the Alpha Zone Pro. So when you get the Alpha Zone Pro for $20.95, you get lifetime. That's it. But if you join the Trading Zone Live, where Roger is going to feed you the trades, there's a 1-year price for $14.95 or lifetime for $24.90. So the Trading Zone are on more than the SPY. Yeah, I asked Roger that question. And I know, and this is a good point here. I know that my summary and the focus of the presentation talked an awful lot about trading options on the SPY, but Roger also made a very, very strong point on the fact that the Alpha Zone Pro is almost like a universal day trading platform for other markets, like the futures markets. Now, I'm a futures day trader, so I trade the E-mini S&P, the E-mini Dow, I trade gold, I trade crude, I trade 30-year bonds, and so I'm very, very intrigued to see how this platform is going to work and help me, with my consistency and my results trading those markets. Because like many of you that are day traders right now, I use Bollinger Bands, I use the RSI, I use the MACD, things of that nature to help give me a sense of, what might happen based on the fact that these are lagging indicators, right? But I'm very, very interested to see how the Alpha Zone Pro will work with that. And in those cases, as he mentioned, if you are going to be day trading the futures market, that's very different than trading an option. As Roger said, there's no expiration date. You don't worry about, and there's none of that that's in there. It's a very, very straightforward process, very easy to go long or to go short, depending on the signal that you get. And these are things that he's all going to cover in the masterclass for those of you that want to leverage this to trade other markets than just taking advantage of what could be buying a call or buying a put on an awesome signal on the SPY. But there's other markets that you can trade and pursue with this platform as well. And I found that particularly fascinating. Let's see here. Yeah. Let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah, Ken says the Telegram sites never really close. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, Linda, if you have a $25,000 plus in a margin account, you could just use your Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Jamie says, "What is Telegram?" Okay, hey, that's a great question because we use that word so freely. Telegram is a communication service. It's free. Okay, it's something that you basically load onto your phone, and once you have it loaded onto your phone, and you become a member of this program, then you just link the Telegram. It's kind of like there's a link in the program that if you click on it, it'll tie directly to your Telegram application that you've put on your phone, and once that's done, you're going to start getting trading alerts and news feeds and things of that nature. Once you have it on your phone, phone. You can also set it up to run on your laptop or your PC, and it runs great. But that's what it is. It's a telecommunications, it's a communications platform. And we really like it because it's very robust. It's extremely fast. So when an alert comes out, it comes out very quickly, faster than email or even text messages. Okay. Number two, it can reach you wherever you are in the world. Wherever you have internet, it can get to you. And we have a lot of international clients that want to have that. And we can also put a mixture of text. Roger can copy and paste images in there. We can put short form videos. It's just a wonderful platform for being able to communicate information. And that's why we've adopted it here at the Trading Pub. Okay, hey, so good thing here. Brent's just advising me. So it is 3 o'clock there. So obviously the Fed has done their thing. I have no idea what it is, but Roger's not taking any trades until Powell is going to be finished. So depends to see. It really depends on what's going to happen there. But thank you for that. And I'm going to pull up my chart here and see what happened. It's hard for me to tell here. Well, things must have been fairly neutral. Let me bring up something else. I'm kind of intrigued. I'm gonna one of the services that I use here. Calendar. Okay, so the rates are held. We knew that was going to happen. They've held the same, so nothing more there. And then, of course, there's all the projections, and I don't know what that is. So everything stayed the same at 4.5. No rate change there whatsoever. And once again, I'm not hearing what's being said, but I think the consensus of the roundtable before we kicked off this presentation was that there would be talk like, hey, we're just going to wait and see what happens. And we're going to keep our powder dry. So I would say this. Okay, no change in the rate. He just took a gap to green. Okay. All right. Super. Well, listen, folks, once again, thank you so much for coming today. Things have kind of quieted down here in the chat. And I know that everyone's time is highly valuable. And we certainly hope that you got good benefit from not only the roundtable discussion, but this presentation on this incredibly flexible and new tool for day trading the markets. And as the roundtable basically concluded, all of our experts there basically have their trading eyes focused on taking short-term trades. Nobody at this point in time is real interested in being in the market too long because of the risk of extreme movements either way. And unless you're in the market with a very well hedged position, it's just something that they're just staying away from. So short-term directional trades we can take advantage of intraday or maybe within 24 hours, very short-term holds appears to be the way most of our people are going. And from that perspective, that's why Roger wanted to bring this forward and it's not, Roger and his team have been working on this for 6 to 9 months. And there has been some beta testing being done on it, and the results are just outstanding. And so once again, this is why he very much liked the timing of this introduction to the general public, because it's just the perfect tool for taking advantage of these very, very short, quick moves in the markets. And so from that standpoint, once again, I was delighted to be a part of this program. I love moderating sessions like this where something new comes out. And once again, we certainly hope that you got great benefit from this program. So I'm going to save the chat right now, which means I'm going to save access to all of your emails for those of you that have asked for a link to a replay of this. And I'm going to get that to our customer care team so that we can get you that link as soon as it's available. And with that, folks, I hope the rest of your Wednesday is terrific. I hope your Thursday and Friday are equally good. And I look forward to seeing you at a future event. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.